Okay, it looks like we're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, well, Kufar, Akbar, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Crossing the Crescent discussion group. This is a live stream show coming to you live from the cavernous caves of the Kefir Cave here in Dar al-Harb, Kafiristan. I'm your host, Eric Theckefer. And you can see we have a new studio. This is our rookie run at it. Rad found it. And he set everything up this week. I tried to set up the show and I was lost. I didn't know how to do it. But this is what it looks like. We can do all kinds of different things like with this. And I was playing around with it, and I don't want to push too many buttons here. Maybe that's what we're going. Let me see here. Add. Yep, that's what we're going to. Yes, I want to remove that. But as you can see, there's going to be a learning curve here, and I apologize for that. But this looks like a good platform. We're going to move away from the Streamlab, which was kind of lame, if I might add that or say that. And
it was just stupid.
It's what?
It was just stupid. Sorry, I'm eating the salad. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Okay. Well, and it's not StreamYard, which costs $45 a month. StreamYard is just out of control. When I first started using them, I think it was like $12.99 a month. Then they jacked it up to $18. Then they went to $30. Now it's $45 a month. And I'm just not paying that. I'm not going to pay that. This is just a hobby for me. This isn't, anything. I'm not saying that I'm all that in a bag of chips. But at the same time, I'm not paying $45 a month for StreamYard. And I didn't even think StreamYard was all that. Compared to this looks like we have all kinds of different options here. And, if I want to play, for example, my favorite video. She was 9 years old! She was 9 years! I can play that anytime I want. All you have to do is just hit it. And then plus the intro music, where is that? This, that is just awesome. I think, was that built into the studio, Rad, or is that something you added?
Yeah,
That was built in the
That was one
studio.
of that was
Okay, I thought, and that's just some cool stuff. So, anyway, welcome to the new platform. Today we're going to be doing something that, well, it's what we've been doing the last couple of weeks. We've been kind of looking at some of the uh, debates that have happened between some of the most popular people that are involved in this topic of Islamic polemics. We looked at the David Wood, Jake Brancatella, the Metaphysician debate. As a matter of fact, we were supposed to spend some time on it last week, and I went back and looked at the show. We didn't spend any time on it because it's supposed to be debate part 2, and we didn't discuss it at all. But this week, we're going to definitely talk about the debate that Jake had with God Logic, Avery, and we're going to take this thing apart. And the reason why I say that is because Jake's argument is a conflation of terms. That's all it is. And it's easy to identify. It deals with the idea of authority. Let's just wrap our heads around this really quick. Okay, so the Islamic dilemma is that the Quran claims that the Bible is inspired. What are the three things? It is inspired, authoritative, and there's a third thing. What is it? Rad, help me out. Isa, help me out. Somebody help me out. What is the third thing?
Preserved.
Preserved. There we go. Thank you. Is preserved, inspired, and authoritative. The Quran claims that. If that is true, the Quran is wrong because the Quran contradicts the Bible. So it cannot be authoritative, it cannot be inspired, and it cannot be preserved. They say, because the thing is, oh, the Bible's been corrupted. No, that's not what the Quran says. So that can't be true. But at the same time, when the Quran says that the Bible is inspired, the Bible is preserved, the Bible is authoritative, it's wrong because it contradicts the Bible. So either the Bible is correct and Islam is wrong, or the Quran is correct and Islam is still wrong. Either way, Islam is wrong. What are all these things going up here? Debate sucked, in my humble opinion. Zombie Hall of Fame. I've actually spent a good deal of time going over it this week and listening to it. As a matter of fact, I listened to it completely a couple times, and it's just hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to listen to Jake conflate his way through this debate. But what he focuses on, because we say the Quran claims that the Bible is inspired, preserved, and authoritative. This is Jake's argument. He takes this word of authority and he twists it on its head, trying to say, well, since the Quran claims to be an authority over the Bible, therefore the Islamic dilemma does not apply on this word authority. That's not what we're talking about when we talk about the Quran claiming that the Bible is authoritative, because the Quran's opinion of the Bible on its authority is that it is the Word of God. If something is the Word of God, it has authority. Whether it's a legal, and this is Jake's thing, is it a legal authority or is it some type of, shut your pie hole. If this is God's word, it is authoritative. It has authority. It has authority. Now, you might not think that it has authority over the Quran, which is fine, but that doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the Islamic dilemma. It is an authoritative book because it comes from God. The Quran says it comes from God. So therefore, it is authoritative, regardless of what type of conflated term application of the word authority that you want to put on it. It doesn't matter. So he spends his entire time debating this, and he just looks like an ass. Sorry, but that's what he does. I mean, this is what he comes across again like one of those insufferable assholes that
Right.
Muslims often come across as when they're debating. Go ahead, Red.
Okay, so real quick, Zombie Hall of Fame. The debate did suck for Jake. I mean, to basically put it in 5 seconds. Okay, overall review, it did suck for Jake. Well, let's get to your clips because I want to see what you picked out, what you thought was important. Sounds good.
I can't understand you. You faded out on me.
I said, let's get to the clips, dude. Let's see what.
All right, well, let's do this. What are you waiting for? Come on. All right. Is this the way I want it set up?
I don't think so. I think you wanted it bigger.
No, I think I want. What do you want to do here? What is this? Oh my goodness! What hath thou wrought upon us, Rad? What is this?
What? Right.
Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Spotlight. There we go. All
There,
right.
okay.
I got it. Takes an amateur to figure this out. Okay, here's Jake talking about the authority of the divine authority of the Bible. Here we go.
Book about anything.
Can you guys hear him? Can you hear that?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we have the uncorrupted Quran, while they have corrupted scriptures with their own hands. Quran 5:13 is another example of the textual corruption of previous scriptures mentioned in the Quran.
That's not what it says. It does not say that the text has been corrupted. And this is what drives us often crazy is that they lie about their own book. That's not what it says.
I can cite other examples from the Quran and authentic hadith to support this claim, but that should suffice for now. As for the verses typically used regarding the supposed authority of the Bible, which most of this debate is going to focus on.
Why is it going to focus on the authority? The reason why he wants it to focus on the authority is because he's going to conflate the use of the term authority. And listen to how he does it.
And I'm going to have to teach Avery his own position.
He's going to have to teach Avery the Islamic dilemma according to Jake. That's what it is.
They are numerous. Quran 5:43 to 47, 1094, 285, many of which you've already heard, are some of the verses typically mentioned. Oddly enough, much of the debate typically focuses on the interpretation of these verses. What is meant by authority here?
Here we go.
That's what we're going to have to drill down on. The claim is that the Quran asserts that the Bible is an authority for Jews and Christians to follow up until today.
No, that's not what we're claiming. We're claiming that the Bible, being from God, is authoritative. It's an authority. It's not just for Jews and Christians. This is an authority. And this is where he tries to conflate. And, you know, I get it. If I was in this type of position as a Muslim, I would try to switch the topic or try to change the topic or try to conflate words also.
However, Avery claims that it's much more than that, even though he just denied it in his opening statement.
He clarifies it perfectly in the closing, or not in the closing, in the crossfire. And we'll go over that here in a little bit.
So either he forgot or he's lying. Avery claims that the Quran states that even the Prophet Muhammad and all Muslims must follow the Bible as an ongoing authority, including its legal rulings.
Okay, not just this ongoing. They have to honor the Bible as an ongoing authority. Why is that? Can anybody tell me why that would be? Why do Christians have to follow the Bible, and Jews have to follow the Bible as an ongoing authority? Anybody? Maybe somebody want to post that in chat. I said it
because it is from God and it
exactly.
is our authority and it is our authority. It's okay. But no,
thank you. It's because it's if it's from God, it's authoritative. It is an authority.
Yeah, it's not partially authoritative like he says in his Quran. But no, here's the thing. The reason why he's going with this authority thing is because it's not the Islamic dilemma. Okay, like he said, the Islamic dilemma is that Allah tells Jews and Christians that they are in doubt of Muhammad's prophethood, they need to go consult their scriptures, and that will tell him that Muhammad is true. We go to our scriptures, and there no Muhammad, no Islam in our scriptures. Okay, so therefore it's rejected. But he actually stated the Islamic dilemma in his opening. There is this his opening.
Yeah, this is his opening statement.
Yes. Well, he actually stated, he said, the Quran clearly says the Torah and the Injil are corrupt. Okay, if they're corrupt, then why is Allah telling them to go to corrupt scriptures to prove that
Exactly.
Muhammad is a prophet. Boom.
Exactly.
But he can't focus on that. So instead, he has to come up with this imaginary thing that, well, because we take the jizya from you after we conquer you, that means the Quran is authority over you.
And
What?
he repeats that. And you notice
Yeah.
the mantra during this is that, I've collected my jizya,
Right.
and you're my dhimmi type screw you, buddy. I mean, when you teach speech to high school students, this is what you teach them. This is what you teach kids on how to do a speech. It's simple rhetoric, and he sounds like he's a child when he does
Well,
that.
he should have listened to Dr. Maleek when he explained to him what the actual Islamic dilemma is. And we got to get to Maleek because there's some Maleek action going on here. But let's continue on.
Well, I don't have any clips on Maleek. All right, let me keep playing Jake here. Here we go.
Now listen to this, Avery. I hope you're going to take notes. In a recent debate with Daniel Hakikachu, when they discussed Quran 1094, Daniel asked, and I quote, if the prophet or someone had a doubt about whether alcohol is prohibited, would they, i.e. the Muslims, have to go to the Bible and see, okay, is alcohol...
Who cares? Who cares? This has nothing to do with authority. This has everything to do with the Quran. And here's the point. Here's my point on this. The authority. The Quran has zero authority. It contradicts what it claims to confirm. It has zero authority. So if you're arguing whether the Quran, in one spot says that you can go to the mosque or you can drink alcohol in one part, but abrogates it that who cares? Who cares? This is the same book. I cannot see you backstage, Dr. Kufar Phobia. Do you see him backstage, Rad?
No.
I do not either.
Yeah, he's not here.
I don't see, brother. I just got something just popped up on my Teams notification, and I didn't see it. But okay, the point that I'm trying to make here with Jake in this idea of the Quran having any authority over the Scripture, it has zero. It has zero authority. You don't have any authority over the Bible when your book says that the sun sets in a muddy pool of water. You can't. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going with that book. I'm not going with that prophet that says that. Okay. He's sending me a picture. Yeah, that is weird.
Send it to me, Dr. Phobia.
Here, send it to Rad. Send that picture to Rad. You guys, Rad, send him the link and try to work that out with him.
All right.
Let him come. I'm sorry, brother. But the bottom line is with the Jake here is that he's just simply trying to change the topic. And again, if you are a Muslim, this is what you want to do. You want to conflate terms and move people's attention away from the very fact that the Quran claims to confirm what is in the Bible, but at the same time, it contradicts what's in the Bible. And Jake has a great quote in here that I'm going to. Well, he asked for something, and I'm going to let him have it. And it's not going to be mean or anything. It's just going to bring presentation of some facts.
All prohibited, and then based off of that, take whatever the Bible says. Is that what you, Avery, believe in? Close quote. That's the question from Daniel. Avery responded by...
Daniel is the guy that believes that you can marry a prepubescent girl too. So who cares what Daniel says?
By saying, and I quote, okay, matter of fact, let me just answer you fully. Yes, I do. I do believe that, i.e., that whatever the Quran says regarding its legal rulings must match up with the previous scripture.
No, that's not. It does not have to, because the Quran's legal rulings. The Quran requires us, the kuffar, according to 929, which he discusses, to pay the jizya. It says that they need to fight us if we don't pay the jizya or we don't convert. That's not going to line up. We know that's not going to line up with. So why are you claiming that it has to? That's our argument. It's not our argument. It's not again, this is conflation of terms and trying to divert the attention away from what the true dilemma is. You guys getting that worked out there, Rad?
We're trying to.
Okay.
We got up to 12 people.
So Avery claims.
Say that again.
We got up to 12 people that can join, so I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know. Maybe it's in private chat here. Let's see here. Here, can you see me? Yeah, I see you I see him in private chat. So how can he get in private chat if I don't see him down here below? That doesn't make sense. Okay, now how do I get back to the other chat? Oh, this is going to be, oh my goodness, Kaffer, Brand. Where did my chat go? I just had, where did chat go, Brad? Where is that chat button? It says private chat. I didn't want to go to private chat, comments. Here we are. Okay, I found it. Never mind. Sorry, people. All right, let's get back to the show. Sorry.
Claims that according to the Quran 1094 and presumably other verses, Quranic laws must conform to and agree with biblical laws.
That's not what 1094 says. Let's read what 1094. I think I have 1094 up here. Oh yeah, here's what 1094 says. Let me put this over here so we can take a look at what 1094 says. Let me make this smaller so we can get the whole thing on the screen here. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to share my screen. Whoops, what did I do here? Cron Corpus, share screen. What happened to Isa? Isa's here. What happened to Rad? Rad's not here. Whew. Okay, here's what 1094 says. Let's see how we can make this bigger. That's not it. There, 1094. Here we are. 1094. So it says, so if you are in doubt, O Muhammad, about that which we have revealed to you, then ask those who have been reading the scripture before you. The truth has certainly come to you. This truth has certainly come to you from your Lord. So never be among the doubters. Okay, so notice where it says, so if you are in doubt, O Muhammad, about which we have revealed to you. So if you are doubting what we have revealed to you, what do you do? What do you do? Well, you go ask those who have been reading the scripture before you. What scripture is that? Well, that is the Bible. That is the Torah. That is the Injil. What are we doing here? That is the Injil. That's what he's asking. That's what he's told to do. Now, when we look at this verse, I need to go, where do I go for this? 1 hour, 14 minutes is where, 1 hour, 14 minutes is where I go. 1 hour, 14 minutes. Here we go. Because Jake brings this up. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to, why is this? This is playing another ad, and that's what I was afraid of. Okay, let's bring this back up. Where did it go? Is that it? That's not what I'm looking for. What am I doing here? Share screen. Let's do it again. Here we go. Okay, add to screen. All right, let's listen to what they have to say here. Okay.
Let me go with you that it's not all encompassing for those particular things.
It's
for
only
the sake
part
of the
of the
argument
book.
right here.
So you only
Watch
have to
this.
follow
You gotta let me
part
get
of
it
the
out. You're
book.
wasting my time.
You only have to follow
Jake,
part of the
wasting
book.
my time.
Ask a question.
Okay, so stop interrupting. Relax,
You
man.
keep commenting without.
It's just ridiculous the way this guy conducts it. Again, when I talk about the insufferability of a lot of these Islamic debaters, this is just another example of it. It's just ridiculous. But anyway,
I like when my food talks back to me, but this is tough.
All right. Go ahead and ask your question, Avery.
All right, thank you. So you said yes, that if Muhammad goes and checks with these people and he sees that what he's receiving in the Quran lines up with what they've been reading in their books, then he'll know that what the Quran is saying is true. So this means that the opposite is true as well, right?
Now listen to what he's saying. If he's asking, okay, he's asking, where's this thing at? Okay, so he's asking Muhammad is being asked, if you doubt, 1094, if you doubt that what we are telling you is true, what does he say? Go ask those who read the scriptures. Okay, so if you don't think that what we're saying, if you don't think that what I am revealing to you, Muhammad, is true, well, then go ask the people who read the scriptures. They'll be able to tell you and confirm whether that is true or not. Listen to what Jake says about this. There we go.
And if he goes to them and he sees that what he's doubting is not in line with what they have, then he'll know that what he is receiving is not the truth. Correct?
Give me the inference rule for that.
Okay. No, look what he says. Give me the inference rule for that. Is there an inference rule for that? I mean, think about this. Okay, so let's say I have a book.
Hey, Brother Eric, I can't hear.
Go ahead, Issa. What were you going to say? Issa, were you going to say something? You went dead.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear Eric.
You can't hear me? What? Can you people in the chat hear me? Can people in the chat hear me?
And Dr. Kufarphobia wants to come on.
Where's Dr. Kufarphobia? Okay. Pollock Joe.
I use Safari. I have Mac. I'm an Apple.
Okay, can you hear me now, Issa, or no? Issa can't hear me. I don't know what's going on with Issa's sound, because the people in the chat can hear me. Yeah, and that's going to leave me here by myself. Where are you, Rad? You're not even in here. Where are you, Rad? I don't even see you on here. There you are. Okay.
I'm always here.
Okay, now, but Issa, can you hear me now, Issa? Evidently not. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I'm going to refresh. All right.
Yeah, all right, go ahead, and we'll bring you right back up. He can't hear me anyway. Okay, so here's what Jake is saying. Jake is saying, okay, if I have a book here that says that America was founded in 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. Can you hear me now, Issa? Issa, can you hear me?
Yes, okay, I hear you.
Great. All right, great. All right.
Can you hear me, Issa?
Yes, sir.
All right. So his sound is great. All right. So here, let's just say I have a book that says that the United States was founded in 1776. The Declaration of Independence was signed by 56 signers, and gives all the details about that. All right. So then you have somebody coming along that says that I have come to confirm that book that you have. The United States, even though it's a great country, was not founded in 1776. It never had a Declaration of Independence. And what else? And the people signed a constitution instead of a Declaration of Independence. Does that book confirm the book that I have? But no, it does not. But I told you to look into if what you're saying is true. Does it conform to this? No, it doesn't. So I looked this up. Is this in fact a logical fallacy that Jake is talking about here? Does it normally flow? He says it doesn't flow. Listen to what he says here.
So can you answer the question?
No, not necessarily. It doesn't follow logically.
I got you.
It doesn't follow logically. It does not follow logically. If you doubt what we have revealed to you, go ask the people of the Scripture. That doesn't follow logically that the Quran would be false. Yes, it does. Let's see here. Where did I put this? It is called, where'd it go? Right here. It is called Modus Talon. Modus Talon. And I was on our brother Chris Cros's show the other day. I wasn't on the show. I was actually commenting in chat. I was in class. I was giving a test so I could, you don't have to really focus when you're giving a test. But here's what it says. Here's what Modus Talon says. Let me bring this up here on screen so you guys can see it. What is Modus Talon? Well, Modus Talon, let me make this large so everybody can see. It's a form of deductive reasoning, a deductive argument, known as denying the consequence. So it's and here's how it flows. If P, then Q. If it's not Q, therefore not P. So this modus tollens is the logical fallacy where it does flow. Tollens. Who's commenting for me? Is that you, Red? Commenting there in chat?
Yes, if it does.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I was going to say I didn't type anything there, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so this modus tollens is what we're talking about, where it does flow. So Jake doesn't know what the heck he's talking about when he says it doesn't flow. It does flow, and it flows perfectly, and it annihilates your position that the Quran is supposedly from God. This annihilates your argument against the Islamic dilemma. Why? Because if God is telling Muhammad, go ask the people of the scriptures whether or not what I am revealing to you is true, and it doesn't line up with that, then therefore what you are getting is not true. So therefore, Islam is wrong. It's the end of discussion. It's the end of debate. And Jake knew this question was going to come. And you can see how he prepared for it. He prepared for it by trying to dismiss it with some type of
Nonsense.
nonsense
It's
would be a good
nonsense.
word.
He defended it with nonsense.
Right. Well, he's trying to say he knew that if somebody that had if he would have, I think if he would have brought this up to David Wood, he probably would. David Wood would probably know because that's what his PhD is in, philosophy and logic, and this being a logical fallacy, he would know. So this is denying the consequence, and this is the consequent. And the consequent is that if the Quran does not line up with Scripture, then the Quran is wrong. It isn't the other way around. It isn't if the Scripture doesn't line up the Quran. It's not. That's not what the Quran says. The Quran says, there we go. There he is. What a picture. What is that? That looks like a cat and three. Cat in Queen Elizabeth.
No, Victoria. Man, I had to use Oprah. It doesn't like Brave. It doesn't like Firefox.
So you had to use what? You had to use a different platform in order to get in?
No. I had to try Brave. I don't use Chrome, so I use Firefox and I use Brave, which Brave is supposed to be a Chrome version, but it wouldn't work. So
I've never even heard of it. What's it called? Braids? What?
Oh, Brave. Brav, like Braveheart.
Brave. Oh, I've never heard of it. Yeah, That's not. Yeah, it's not. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm
on Opera now. That seems to work. So.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on what we're doing, or have any comments they want to make on what Jake has done here? Made a total ass of himself with this argument here. Anybody? Nobody in chat? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next piece. This would be the chain of custody argument that Jake was making. This occurs around 208. I think this is in the Crossfire. And Jake is making this argument. Well, let's just listen to it. I'm not going to spend too much time setting it up here. Again, you got to sit here and listen to these commercials. Is there a way to get past these commercials in on YouTube? Does anybody know of a way to get? Because
Yeah,
they
you gotta
just
have a paid subscription. They're like up to it's like now $50 a month or some crap. I'm exaggerating that. It used to be no, it used to be like $5 a month for the YouTube premium. Now it's like 19.95, dude.
is it really?
Yeah, I think something like that. It's horrendous, dude.
Yeah, that's
I
how.
think Jake is doing so bad in this debate. Like I've seen all of them, and they're just like he tries to nitpick stuff in order to try to make it legitimate. That's not how Islam works. It is requiring. I'm actually. This is a little sneak peek, but I talked to Dr. Wood, and he agreed. I have to see how it goes with James, but I would like to do a 2-on-2 debate, proving that the Torah, the Zabur, and the Injil are not corrupted.
According to the Quran, or just not
Just in
corrupted.
general,
Period.
the Quran and in general,
Well,
it's
what
not
would you?
corrupted at all.
Okay, so what would your definition of corruption be?
So corruption would mean that it would have to be completely changed from an original source, like a source document that existed. There is no source document that existed. You could say there are variants. Okay, so what? Most ancient texts have that. That's not a problem. That doesn't mean it's corrupt. My
Most
position
ancient
pretty much is
texts,
this concept of textual
most ancient
corruption is
texts.
nonsense.
Isa, would you say most ancient texts, or would you say all ancient texts
Yeah,
have
you could say
variants?
all. That's fine.
Yeah,
It's the
that's
problem.
exactly what I would
It's a
say.
special pleading argument. You
Yeah,
think that the Quran doesn't have variants? Of course it does. And also, if you want to say there are contradictions, Nasikh wa Mansukh, the verses of fabrication, are contradictions for non-Muslims. So no, there's no standard of corruption. What I'm going to argue is there's no standard of corruption. It's a completely made up, fabricated narrative that has no litmus test. We can't challenge it. We can't prove it. It's just a made up thing to try to say, well, the Quran is good, but these previous texts are bad. But the Quran is dependent on the previous text. So I'm going to make that argument too. So
hmm. That sounds like a good debate. I'd like to see somebody take. And
maybe
by
we
the
could do a
way,
review here.
yeah,
I
well, I
think
would
it's much
love to do
funner to
that.
do reviews here than on my channel. It's a little tricky. We're very super
Well, if you
atheist
get
here.
the
So
who's the guy that you go live with, the flat earther guy, the
Max, yeah,
Max,
Max.
yeah, that guy's crazy. Don't tell him I said that, but he just sounds correct. I mean, he just sounds.
Rod loves him. Rod
Yeah.
visited him once
Well,
too.
I mean,
Rod's a
those
big fan.
two, those two are like soulmates. I would think just the way that he conducts himself. The
I'm
guy's
sorry, I missed it. What was this?
I was talking about Max. Max, my co-host on my show.
Oh,
You love him, remember?
oh yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. We had I melted down on him because he was anyway. Whatever. Anyway,
okay. So the Quran. So listen to what Jake has to say here about what our understanding of the Quran should be. Now listen.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Thanks, Demi.
All right, so Jake, this question's for you. Jews and Christians had the Torah centuries before Muhammad, and we're not working together. So when exactly was it corrupted? Who did it? And how did both sides end up with the same altered text?
Okay, so this is a great question, and it's targeted at Jake, because he's asking Jake. Okay, so the Christians and the Jews, they have these texts, and okay, if you're going to say they're corrupted, number one, you have to show corruption, and in order to show corruption, you have to have a later text that is different from an earlier text, and you have to show that this corruption changes. We have variants, and we were just talking about that. You have variants. You have to show that they're meaningful and viable. For example, the long ending of Mark, that is a variant that is both meaningful and viable. I mean, it talks about handling snakes and all this other wazoo stuff, but it doesn't have any impact on the overall beliefs of Christians, unless there's Christians out there that monkey around with snakes. But another one would be the woman caught in adultery that we find in the Gospel of John. This was a story that is from the one of the early church fathers, Papias, that found its way into the Gospel of John. Papias was a hearer of John, so therefore he wrote down some of the stories that John had told him, the things that Christ had done, but it was not in the original Gospel. It gets added later. Now, does that mean that Christ cannot forgive sins? No, because in other parts of the Gospels, it shows that Christ is forgiving sins. So it doesn't have any overall impact on the overall beliefs of Christians. These variants that they like to claim. So when he's asking for, okay, show me an earlier transcript, and this is what we needs to be asked when you ask for corruption, you have to show me a manuscript that predates. I mean, let's just say something like the Santiaticus, Codex Santiaticus of Vaticanus. I can't remember sure what one's like 320 AD, complete gospel, all 4 gospel. You have to show me manuscripts that say that Jesus Christ was not crucified. Manuscripts that include the rest of the gospel message, that are consistent with the rest of the gospel message, that say that Jesus Christ was not crucified in that process. In order to show corruption, that is the type of corruption that is being asked here. You have to demonstrate this. You just can't say, oh, well, there's a variant here, there's a variant here, therefore the whole thing, you got to throw it all out. No, because if you're going to do that, you're going to have to do that with the Quran. Have you ever heard of the Sana manuscript? The Sana manuscript predates all of the Quran. It's the earliest Quran that we have. As a matter of fact, it's a Quran that predates the Quran. If you guys don't realize this, the carbon testing date, according to the website Islamic Awareness, they posted the carbon 14 testing dates on this, and they date to the 4th and 5th century, for God's sake. The Quran is supposed to be the 7th century. Hello? And it's a palimpsest, and the underwriting of the palimpsest do not match the overwriting, which matches the Quran today. So this idea that the Quran does not have this problem either is just stupid. Thanks, Ed, for posting that Coda Santiagus in the chat. Okay, let's listen to the rest of this.
I mean, at this point, that question was already asked, to be fair. So I could repeat the same answer, which is that the Torah and Injil were originally oral revelations. In virtue of them being reduced to writing very early on, they were textually corrupted. We don't have anything from, for example, the Torah. I mean, where is the chain of custody going back to Moses?
Okay, where is the chain of... Why is that? If you look... Yeah, I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, now that you mentioned that, okay, because the Quran is completely dependent upon the law. The Torah is dependent upon the Torah. It says that the Torah is from God, and he's saying, okay, well, you have to show that it goes clear back to Moses. But maybe from a historical perspective, he's asking for us to produce documents that are 4,000 years old. I mean, that's how long ago Moses. Well, it would be 3,500 years old, 3,400 years old. We don't have documents that are 3,400 years old. If we do, we only have fragments of them, little bits and pieces of them. This is a ridiculous demand to say, well, in order to go back to the laws of Moses, we have to have a continuous chain going back. No, you don't. That's not how history is done, pal. You need to get a clue. Let's listen.
Don't forget also Yasser Qadi said no one in the intellectual academy, the PhD level stuff, from Harvard and Yale, of course, they believe this Islamic science. He said if you mention it, you'll be laughed at. Nobody believes in this chain of transmission and all this goofy stuff. I mean, it's just complete nonsense. They call it
Yeah,
a science, and it's just hokum pokum.
yeah, that's another great point. Yeah, because okay, what about you? You claim that the Quran was assembled by Uthman and it was edited through. Where does all that comes out from? Hadith literature. The Hadith literature doesn't date until the 9th century, for crying out loud. And you're going to say that, well, you got to trust that? Really? Really? And then plus, we don't have an extant copies, manuscripts of Bukhari, I think, until the 11th century. Weird how duplicit these people are. No, it's not weird. This is what you would expect from somebody that's insufferable.
There's a chain of custody of the New Testament going back to Jesus. It doesn't exist.
Are you kidding me? Are you flipping kidding me? We have a written chain of custody. Has this guy ever heard of the early church fathers? Has he ever heard of Ignatius? Has he ever heard of Clement of Rome? Polycarp? Because if you have Jesus, then you have John. Then under John, you have Papias, and we have his writings from Eusebius. Then you have Polycarp, and you have Ignatius. And then over here, you have Peter, and with Peter, you have Clement of Rome. How can you say that we don't have a continuous chain of custody? What do you have, like oral tradition? Oh, what are those? Where do we hear about these oral traditions? Oh, that's right. We hear about the oral traditions from what? The Hadith literature. When was the Hadith literature? See, Muhammad died 632. Bukhari, the first compilation of the Hadith literature, that's dated to 870. That's only 238 flippin' years, Einstein. And you're going to sit here and have the temerity to demand, really? 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 And that's all oral all the way up to Bukhari and saying, oh, well, we got to trust it because we know that they were great memorizers. I'm going to have to call BS on that one. I'm not sorry. That's just the way. This is just insufferability
At all.
Hey guys, is your tire pressure light stuck on even when your tires are fine?
Sorry, I don't hate these things. Okay.
What was the question?
Oh, it says Jews and Christians had the Torah centuries before Muhammad.
Okay, let's read this here. A very small number survive, notably the 7 letters of Ignatius of Antioch, single epistles from Clement of Rome, of Polycarp. When we read the early church fathers, and this is kind of the point that I'm trying to make here, when we read the early church fathers, the majority of the New Testament, not its entirety, but the majority of the early church fathers quote a lot of the New Testament. So we know what's in the New Testament. We know it wasn't corrupted. How do we know that? Well, the early church fathers are quoting from it. Are they going to, in their quotes, when they're quoting from the New Testament, are they going to quote something that was corrupted earlier and then now it's changed? Well, then you would have to go change what the early church fathers wrote about it. This makes no sense. It was what the earlier question was, as opposed to Jake. And this is how he answers it. There's one more question that he's thrown at the 10-minute or 2-hour, 10-minute mark that I really want to get to. And then we can go to whatever anybody else wants to get to. And it deals with the Injil.
Because the Quran doesn't tell him what the Injil is exactly unless he relies on what we have. And so it looks like, according to the Quran,
Let's listen.
What's the Injil?
There you go. What's the Injil?
Because if what we have does not go back to Jesus, then I guess that would mean it's not the Injil, which would mean he knows what the Injil is and would be able to tell us what the Injil is. But he can't, because the Quran doesn't tell him.
Listen to what Jake's answer is about what he says the Injil is. Listen to his answer. This is the Injil.
What the Injil is exactly unless he relies on what we have. And so it looks like, according to the Quran, what we have does go back to Jesus, but because the Quran says that, and in matter of fact, he quoted it, chapter 7, verse 157, that those who believe in the unlettered prophet, who can neither read nor write, is written in the Torah and gospel with them in the 7th century. Well, we had the New Testament in the 7th century. That's what even your commentators quote, that we have when they're quoting John and all this kind of stuff about Muhammad being in the scriptures. So according to a lot of commentary, we have what goes back to Jesus. That's
And think about that, folks. In 7:157, it says that the gospel that you have with you, Banu Dehi, what you have between your hands. We know what the gospel was in the 7th century. What Muslims are trying to do now, and what I've heard some of these arguments are saying, well, that wasn't the gospel that Muhammad was talking about. Well, then what gospel is it? It's just like this made up gospel, that you would find in, a Walt Disney movie. It's just, you just can't do, this isn't how history is done, folks. This isn't how facts are determined and ascertained. You just cannot make up excuses like these Dawagandists do and think that people are going to trust you. It's like one of those "trust me, bro. It wasn't the right Injil." Listen to what his excuse is, and that's all it is—an excuse.
That's tough. But you can tell us what the Injil is if we don't have it.
Yeah, I can very easily. So the Quran tells you what the
Okay, the Quran tells us what the Injil is, folks. Listen to what the Injil is. Here it is.
Injil is. It was a revelation that was given to Jesus, peace be upon him, in his own language. It
was a revelation given to Jesus in his own language. Okay, let me just let him finish. Good Lord Almighty.
27:27, Quran 14:4. Very clear. Answered your silly question.
No, you didn't. That is like, if that is your answer, that is like hashtag the worst answer that anybody could ever.
Well, my first question would be, what is Jesus's language, and where can we find this in Injil? Where is it?
Yeah, how do we know that what language Jesus spoke? Right. Is that in the Quran?
Exactly. Yeah.
Where do we go to find that out?
Dude, not only that too, but in the Quran, when was Jesus born? And I'm not talking like Christmas Day. I'm talking what era was he born in? Was it the 1st century? Was it 10th century BC? Was it 100th century BC? Was it 2 weeks before Muhammad? You know what I mean? They don't actually have any clue. And also, where was he born at? There is no mention of him being in Judea. There is no mention of him being in Roman-occupied Palestine. There is no mention of him being in Syria. There's no. He runs to a cave with his mom, I think, and that's pretty much about it. Where was it? There's no information. They know nothing.
Notice he didn't tell us where we can find the Injil, what's in the Injil, where we can read this Injil. But here's my issue with this Injil thing, is that, okay, let's say that he's right. He's right. Let's say that there is a separate Injil, a book that was given to Jesus that is separate from the fourfold gospel that we have. Let's just say that there is. And Muhammad is right in the 7th century, whenever this is revealed, whatever that verse that talks about it, whenever that verse was revealed, let's say it's 625. Okay, let's just throw a date out there. Let's say 625. Where do we find in all of the recorded history up to 625, do we have anybody ever mentioning this? Where outside of the fourfold gospels, where in any type of religious tradition, and it doesn't even have to be a Christian tradition. It can be, it can be a Buddhist. It can be a Hindu tradition. I don't care. Where do we find a separate tradition that believes in a separate gospel written down by anybody, that anybody mentions this thing, that is separate from the fourfold gospel that we know? Where do we find that?
There isn't any. But does Avery come back on this? I don't know.
No, he doesn't. This is Jake's. This is Jake's hand. Well, no, he does, and I'll play that. But
right, yeah.
That's my point. There is no other. There isn't anything out there. Again, this is a fictitious fact or a fictitious defense of this Injil book. There is no evidence for it. There is nothing out there that supports the idea that there is a gospel other than the gospel that we have, the fourfold gospel that we have in the Bible. There isn't. I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry. I'm sorry. You're just wrong. And this is just a common defense given by Muslims.
Secondly, when it comes to the New Testament, you don't have that as being revelation to Jesus. The only things we consider are what are said to be attributed to Jesus. You can say the red letter text, some of which is authentic and some which is not.
Red letter. Did you hear that?
I still don't know what it is.
You don't?
All right, so this question's for Avery.
Got to keep up, brother.
You got to keep up, brother. You got to keep up with what? You did not say anything.
Question for Avery. What specifically in...
Okay, that's where I stopped. So if you guys just want to continue with the crossfire, we can. There's not a lot of time.
Yeah, I'd like to play. I mean, if you haven't played Avery's 19 minutes, his cross-examination, I think that was the best. I think Avery really shined and cooked and good.
Okay. All right, we can do that. Because Avery went first, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to here. We're probably going to have to play an ad. Oh, shock. Here's an ad. Oh, my. Hold on. Let me ask
socialism experiencing a revival.
You know what? What side are you... Wait, stop. Which side are you playing this from? Are you playing this from this guy's site, the guy that's speaking?
No, I am playing this from... what is this?
Hey, guys, Issa's in the back. He says to let you know that he's on his laptop.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I was on my phone. I was having trouble with my phone.
Hey, Issa, real quickly.
What's up?
You should see that walkie-talkie thing next to my mic. I mean, next to my picture in the back.
I see it.
The backstage. If you just click on that, you can talk to me. Okay.
Oh, really?
And only I can hear you, or you can talk to Eric, and only he can hear you if you want to break in. But yeah, if we don't see you, you can just click on it and say, "Hey, I'm doing this." Yeah, let me in. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that.
You know what I mean? Here, watch. I'll show you. Okay, hold on.
Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to Avery's cross-examination.
Both of these guys put on a great show so far. This cross-examination will be a total of 40 minutes. Both parties will get 20 minutes each to ask questions. And before we start the cross-ex, I want to remind everyone once again, we do have index cards back there. And if you have a question, write that question down, get it in the little basket back there, and so we can have a fantastic Q&A at the end of this debate. With that said, Avery, you're up first for your 20-minute cross-examination of Jake. And I'll start your time as soon as you begin to ask your first question.
Testing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Jake, you believe that Jesus is going to come back, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's he going to do? Give us a couple descriptions if you can.
There are numerous hadith about it. I don't know what you have in mind specifically, but he's going to come, and the different hadith speak about him breaking the cross, killing the pigs, which is...
This is good.
Symbolic of actually the fact that Jews and Christians are actually not properly following the correct law, and they're eating pig, and they're essentially worshiping the cross. But that's one aspect. And he's going to come under the Sharia, under the laws of the Prophet Muhammad, and call people to guidance.
Awesome. You missed one. What's he going to do about the jizya?
Sorry?
What's he going to do about the jizya?
The jizya at that time will no longer be valid because of the fact...
This is good.
Let me finish. The jizya at that particular moment in time will no longer be valid because of the fact that it's too late and the people either accept Islam or they don't. Those are the only two options at that point.
So you agree that Jesus is going to be the one that abolishes the law of jizya?
No, he doesn't agree.
No. No,
Wait,
Jesus.
you said no.
Jesus is going to come, and at the time when he comes, because it's the end times, the jizya is no longer applicable. That doesn't help with your Islamic dilemma. You got to try harder, bro.
I'm going to ask you one last time. I'm going to give you a chance before I
Yeah.
bring this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
According to the Hadith, does Jesus abolish the jizya? Yes or
No, it's Allah who abolishes the jizya.
Okay, now listen. Avery's going to read the hadith here, and you tell me: is it Jesus who abolishes the jizya, or is it Allah who abolishes the jizya?
I gave you a
It's
chance.
Allah who abolishes the jizya, and Jesus is sent as a prophet. We don't believe that the prophet Jesus is making his own laws independent of Allah. Thank you.
Okay, I got you. So we're going to go to the
You
Hadith
mind if I
really quick,
interrupt
and I want to
quickly?
just bring this up for you because
What was that, Isa?
I wanted to make a quick interjection to that.
Go
There's
ahead.
a big problem with what he just said. The problem is that he said that the prophet Jesus is coming back. If that's true, then that's a prophet after the prophet of Islam. So the prophet of Islam is not the final prophet anymore. Jesus would be the final prophet. He has to give Jesus a different status. The big JC has to get a different status. He can't be a prophet. And a lot of Muslims try to say, well, he doesn't have that status anymore. Because if he is a prophet, then he's a prophet after the prophet. Even though he came before, he's coming as a prophet afterwards. Do you notice he called him a prophet? So even in this argumentation, he's creating trouble.
And he doesn't say why he's. I mean, what's the purpose of him coming back? It really that's really not clear either. According
It's
to
not clear.
Islamic eschatology, it's not. I mean, they can't really tell you he's going to come and break the cross. He's going to kill the pigs.
I mean, why does the cross need to be broken? The
Because
cross isn't necessarily a positive thing. The point of why the cross is there, Christian theology, and you can correct me if
well,
I'm
Jake, according to Jake, we worship the cross. That's why he's going to break the cross, because we worship. That's not true. We don't worship.
It's a symbol. It's a symbol showcasing that Jesus gave his life for all of humanity, for all life. It's the cross it was a means to the sacrifice that Christ gave. It's not it's just another kind of torture device. But the point is that Christ chose to sacrifice himself for all of humanity. And I think that this is the issue, that it's hard for Muslims to understand this because it's just not something that makes sense. It's not logical, just like the Trinity.
Well, it's easy to make it make sense for them, because if they're going to say that Christians worship the cross because we bow down before the cross, we could say just as easily, well, you worship a rock out in the middle of the Arabian desert.
That's true. That is a completely fair argument. And this is why Muslims have to be very careful. When I see Muslims attacking Judaism and Christianity, they put themselves in great peril. The peril is that they make themselves, first of all, Muslims are rooted in Judaism and Christianity. The whole premise is that. So when you mock it, you mock Islam. By mocking Christianity and Judaism, it's like, I don't know, it's like, it's a person who is like shooting themselves in their own foot. Do you get what I mean? It's like, that's what you're doing when you do this. It's not a win, it's a loss. And I don't know. It's
just a perfect illustration of their hypocrisy is what it is.
And ignorance, arrogance and ignorance all mixed in one. It's a cocktail of ignorance, arrogance, and foolishness. And the arrogance is the hubris that you see. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to go on this a little bit, but just what Jake was saying is like, you're not following. What is there to follow, Jake? There's nothing to follow in what you're saying. All you're doing is chest thumping, and you're saying nothing. You're not making a great defense for Islam, and you're making Islam look extremely weak. At least your version of Islam look extremely weak against Christianity in the debate. You look extremely weak. And it's like, who is Jesus for Muslims? That is a very valid question you're asking, brother. Who is Jesus? What's his importance? Is he a generic prophet? And it's like, this is a strange thing for me. I think Jesus cannot be married. This is my position. I don't think he can be married to like a woman. That's not his duty, you know? That's not what he does. That's not a part of his identity. But you see a lot of traditions try to make him have marriage and have children. You know what I mean? And I'm like, he doesn't need to have that. Why are you trying to change who he is in his identity? Like, you see this in
I
LDS.
think that what Muslims do a lot of times is they try to make Christian figures from the Bible as feeble, as sinful, as having all of the failures that Muhammad did. And in the process, you have to attribute these things like Jesus is going to come back and he's going to get me. No, he's not. Where do you get this? This is just something that you invented because you want to put Jesus in this category along with, the frailty of frail men. But here in this argument that they're making with the jizya, just listen to how Avery walks him into a door here, and Jake has nowhere to go other than to start acting like an insufferable ass again.
You said, according to the hadith, Jesus is not the one who is abolishing the jizya. So
I said that prophets, when they bring laws, they are receiving revelation from God, and based upon that, that's the laws that they're bringing.
I got you. So I'm gonna ask it again.
I already answered it.
Does Jesus abolish the jizya? Yes or no?
Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, folks. I'm not paying $100.
That I said that the prophet Jesus and all prophets receive revelation, and based upon that, they bring laws. But even if you wanted to say that Jesus came and independently abolished the jizya, that would not help you at all whatsoever in the Islamic dilemma.
And neither does your argument, Jake. Your argument over this authority BS is exactly that. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with it. I don't.
Okay, here's Sahih Bukhari 2476. This is one
Okay, now listen to what Sahih Bukhari says, and this is where Jake is just wrong.
Of many, ladies and gentlemen. It says, and I'm going to ask this in the question. Narrated Abu Huraira, Allah's apostle said, the hour will not be established until the son of Mary descends amongst you as a just ruler. He will break the cross, kill. Jesus is going to do what? He's going to break the cross. Watch this. Watch this is where Jake gets his information. The pigs and abolish.
Hold on. I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Hour will not be established until the son of Mary descends amongst you as a just ruler. He will break the cross, kill the pigs.
Kill the pigs. So he's. Did you catch that? He's going to break the cross. And he's going to kill the pigs. Now, watch what else it said. Break the cross, kill the pigs, but maybe not in that order. It doesn't matter. He's going to kill the pigs and break the cross. And what else does the hadith say?
Pigs and abolish the jizya tax.
No. He's not abolishing the. No. He's breaking the cross and killing the pigs, but he's not abolishing the jizya. Even though it says it in the same sentence. Jake says no, not the same thing. Again, an insufferable ass would do this.
Yeah, exactly.
So does the law that when Jesus is coming, is he, according to what I just read, going to abolish the jizya tax?
As I said, he is doing it based
on... whoa. I thought you just said Jesus wasn't going to abolish the jizya tax.
Upon revelation.
So he is doing it.
He's doing it
based
upon revelation, and that doesn't change anything. You have to establish.
I bet it doesn't.
Okay,
we're just getting started, man. It's a slow summer.
You have to explain how it changes anything related to the Islamic dilemma.
Exactly. You're going to have to explain how it changes anything to deal with the Islamic dilemma. But you haven't even addressed the Islamic dilemma. The only thing you're doing is talking about authority. What a...
He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't get what it is. Or if he does, it's a deflection.
It is a deflection. That's all this is a one great big deflection away from 1094.
Well, David Wood had on the original David Seweras. I don't know, some dude, David S. He's a philosopher, I guess. And he actually says he's going to have to update his book because he wrote a book. It's called, the 99 fallacies or something like that of Islam. And he's like, dude, just based on Jake, I'm going to have to actually add another 27 more fallacies that he created with this argument. When he goes through some of it's pretty funny. You guys should listen to him. But I do got, before we leave, I do want to play probably about a 5-minute clip of Jake had to join, in case you didn't notice, Jake joined David Wood and Thaddeus for like 7 hours. Well, it was like 5 hours or close to 6 hours with them guys. And they talked about the stuff, but at the end, it's pretty brutal. It's kind of funny. But I like to play it. But let's continue on. How long are we got?
Well, let's just finish this little part up, and then we can switch over to that. All right, here we go. Where's my thing? We go.
Well, this is
You haven't shown anything.
The point is your argument does not touch the Islamic dilemma, but I'm
It
obliging.
does.
Okay, we're gonna see.
We're gonna see.
We're gonna see. So
You're gonna get busted up.
Okay.
Listen, you're gonna get busted. This is what this is the way a child talks. I mean, seriously, this is the way children act when they get caught in the middle of a lie or in the middle of a misstatement. Come on.
Okay, cool. So according to you, this is a slow simmer.
Exactly.
So
It's simmering too slow. We don't even notice it's cooking.
According to you,
I didn't
you
even
just
smell nothing
you just
yet.
contradicted yourself.
No, I didn't.
You contradicted yourself.
I know
and you
you're
said,
slow, but it's
hold
all right.
on.
Ask a question.
Let's get it
He's
out.
talking. You have to ask a
All right,
question.
guys. All right.
And Jake keeps interrupting and says, ask your question. Well, he won't shut up. Again, insufferable ass.
Ask a question.
Come on now. Get the question out, Avery. Let's go.
All right. So according to what you just said, you contradicted yourself and said that Jesus does abolish the jizya tax through revelation that God gives him. Okay.
I said that from the beginning.
No,
Where's
you
the
didn't.
contradiction?
So here,
No, you didn't say that from the beginning, Jake. You said that he doesn't do it. Now, come on. We can just play it back and listen to it, but who cares?
here's my question. Here's my we'll wind the tape.
Exactly. I said it from the
Here's
beginning.
my question, okay? So when Jesus comes and abolishes the jizya tax, does that mean that his revelation is an authority over the Quran?
No.
Oh, so by bringing a new law or abrogating a law in the previous revelation does not mean that this new revelation is now an authority over the previous?
No, because this was foretold since
It's
the
over.
beginning. The hadith that's mentioned.
It's over.
The hadith that's mentioned. Yeah, it's over for you because you still don't understand your own argument.
The argument is that the Quran contradicts the Bible. The Quran confirms what the Bible says. So therefore, that's the argument, Jake. And you're the one that keeps running to this authority issue. Because the Quran says that the Torah and the Injil, this gospel, is the word of God. Well, if it's not the word of God, then it is. If it's the word of God, it is authoritative. This idea that it's a legal authority, or you're bringing up the jizya, and let's just think about the jizya for a second. Just think about that. Muslims are imposing upon other believers of the Abrahamic faith a tax, forcing them to pay a tax. If they do not convert at sword point, then you have to pay a tax. Because if you don't pay the tax, then you're killed. Does that sound like something that would come from the Bible? No.
I mean, it doesn't sound like it comes from God. I mean, honestly speaking, that doesn't sound like a godly thing at all, but that's an aside situation.
Well, it's not an aside. It sounds satanic, is what it sounds. And that's my argument against this. It's a satanically inspired ideology. It's not a religion. I mean, it calls Christians and Jews the worst of creatures. It tells Muslims to fight us until we either say that Muhammad was a prophet. I mean, what prophet? Do we have any prophets from the Bible that said that if you don't believe me as a prophet, people should kill you? Do we have any of?
No.
I don't think that we have any. But that's what Muhammad.
We have God saying in Deuteronomy 29, I want to say, that the test of the false prophet. If any prophet comes to you prophesying in a name other than my name, he should be killed. If a prophet comes prophesying in any name other than my name, and his prophecy does not come true, does come, even if his prophecy comes true, he should be killed because he prophesies in my name, or he prophesied another God than mine. If a prophet comes and prophesies in my name, and that prophecy does not come true, he should be killed because he spoke a thing which I did not tell him to say. Okay, so yes, what we do have where God's saying is yes, prophets should be killed. Okay,
But it doesn't say who's doing it, though.
exactly. No, I hear you.
Most
I
of the
hear
time,
you.
it's God that does it. Like, for example, when the priests of Baal battled against the prophet Elijah, right? The priests of Baal, faced the consequence because,
They were
Baal
swallowed
didn't
up.
come up. So,
They were swallowed up by the fire.
yeah.
But, but,
So
but
God does it. You know what I mean? It's not man who does it. Man does not meet
well,
God's justice.
well, God also did say, "Tell Aaron to strap on their swords and go throughout the camp, striking them all down."
But the
So,
thing in that particular situation
mhm.
was that the Israelites were called to do that particular situation, which is a completely different
Right.
type of situation.
What is this? What is this apologetic Jaws? Where did you get this information?
Oh yeah, so no, Jake. Well, I haven't listened to it. Jay and DOC. I didn't even get the notification. They finally did a live stream from their new studio in their new home. It's an emergency stream, and yeah, they got all kinds of stuff where Jake and this lawyer dude, they're all corrupt. They're all in on it. And yeah, dude, it's Maleek's spilling the beans, dude. Maleek is seriously pouring out the chismo, as they say in Spanish. The guy, he's seriously just bringing it on. He's
So
bringing
Jake is the one that is responsible for the doxing of all these people.
yes, but he told it to Maleek. I don't know. I haven't listened to Jay and DOC's live stream yet. After this, I want to listen to it. But evidently, Maleek is really, from when I saw clips of it, Maleek is just really spilling the beans. And this lawyer, this speaking Muslim, he's pretending to be all, let's make peace between every. No, he's all part of it. Let's make peace between.
Why is he mentioning Chris Claus here? What's up with Chris Claus? I know
Because
he
Chris Claus
I
was
know he
doxed.
doxed. I know he doxed Chris.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no. So it's pretty heady. But
He got
anyway, well,
100.
no. That leads me to: Are we done with this opening? Because that actually leads to this part that I wanted to play with Jake.
Okay, all right. Well,
Wait, they got. Wait, hold on.
let's just finish this up, and then we'll jump back to that. How's that?
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Let's finish this up.
So pathetic.
You're right.
It's so pathetic. Jesus,
Hold on, man. Let me get the book out for you.
Jesus is receiving
book out. I got it.
revelation. Jesus.
That's the only thing you can do is just mock these guys. I mean, because their responses are so ridiculous that that's all they're deserving of is mockery. That Avery's right in doing this. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop that part there. We're going to go to Rad's part that he wants to play. Let me go ahead and remove this. Stop the screen share on this, Rad. Where is your piece that you wanted to bring up?
I just put it up there. Hold on. Go ahead and bring it up. It should be showing.
Okay. Who did we just bring up here? Why am I on here twice? Who is this? Oh, this is Apologetics Jaws. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay.
I thought he has my logo. What is that?
All right. Here we go. You ready? Here we go.
Yep. Go ahead.
Let's just say.
Can you hear it?
And it was totally fake, or from your point of view, it was fake.
Yeah.
But just that looming there and being questioned about it and potentially arrested or just going in for questioning stuff, that could have, impeded you from coming to the debate. So this is what I'm thinking. I thought that there was actually a police report being filed.
Real quick, this quick part, he's talking about, Jake said that he was bringing the police to the debate to arrest David Wood. He actually did say that numerous times, or at least once, and maybe it was played to me numerous times. That's why I say numerous times. But he actually did say it. But listen to this excuse. This is funny.
Now that it's a few weeks later, and I don't think anything came out, looks like it was either a lie the whole time, or I don't know. I don't know really what other way to explain it. So that's on the David thing. But I don't think, unless I'm crazy, I do have lesions on my brain. But unless I'm just not remembering, I don't remember saying that I was going to bring the police to the debate. I don't think I said.
He doesn't remember.
I think I said either
What's that?
David's
I
going to
can't
get
stop.
arrested
Pause it, Rad.
or like I'm going to pummel him at the debate. Anyway,
Rad,
that's
pause it. I
how
can't. What was that again?
Okay, so the whole thing, the question is, what about the police? You bringing the police to come and arrest me at the debate, and he's giving this long-winded answer, and he's saying, I honestly don't remember saying that. I have lesions on my brain. Dude, people played it for him. They showed him the clip where he actually says, "Yeah, David Wood, I'm bringing the police. They're going to come and arrest you." He actually says it. Okay, but anyway, continue on. Let's get to the real part here that I wanted to bring up.
All right, go ahead.
Was in my head on the first point about Avery. Why? I think the question was, why did I say to Maleek?
Yeah, I just put it on the screen. Jake, why did you tell? So it's talking about the screenshot. Snitch Maleek posted a screenshot of you go back and forth, and we didn't see what came before it or what came after it, but there was something in there. Thaddeus, do you have it? Do you? I don't remember. It was something along the lines of.
Yeah, so we haven't covered this yet because it happened more recently than the stuff that we got up to. But my understanding is that I don't know if Jake actually showed, or sorry, Maleek actually showed a screenshot or he just said it. But either way, he claimed that you. So there's the clip of like potentially you not knowing you're on camera. I don't know, but you like saying to Avery that you don't support what Maleek's doing, and then Maleek said that you then went and told him that you were lying when you said that.
Well,
that
to
you
be
do
clear,
support him, basically.
To be clear, I mean, I didn't know for 100% sure that I was being recorded, but I thought I was because there's a lot of people with cameras there, and Avery was standing talking to people. So I thought I was. I wasn't doing it as if I didn't think I was being recorded. But I said it very generally and vaguely, like I don't agree with this sort of thing that's going on.
You did. That's correct.
Yeah,
we interpreted it as not supporting Maleek, but I think you actually just said there's stuff going on that I don't support or something like that.
Thaddeus is not good at confronting people.
I just meant to say it in general terms, and I didn't even get specific. But I said on both sides, and I told David this, and he was honest on prior streams. Like, I told him I don't support the Quran desecration and that stuff going on, and some things that the Muslims are doing and saying. I'm not even going to mention it because, I think it's probably public now anyway. But there's, I don't know, there might be a very long phone call that was like a private phone call that may be released that will shed light on this. If it does, if it happens, it happens. I don't know. I think that I don't really have too much to worry about, but some other people might. But the point is that, I think that on both sides, on the Christian and Muslim sphere, there's a lot of things that we shouldn't be doing. He's looking to the left.
He's accessing the line part of his brain. Notice.
And
pause
this
it,
was
Rad.
asked
Pause
at the end of my debate
Pause
with
it,
Avery.
Rad.
I think the final question.
Pause it, Rad.
Was like, how do we elevate the discourse?
Pause it.
Stop with all of this kind of stuff going on. I'm obviously paraphrasing.
I'm trying to. Won't pause. There we go. I pause it. Go ahead.
Good Lord. Okay, look. Okay, we can't play those clips that long.
Oh.
Because we're going to get a copyright strike. So
sorry. It's on David Wood's channel. I doubt he's going to give us a copyright strike, but that's beside the point. But you're right. But
no, cool guy. David's cool. He doesn't do that kind of stuff.
All right, but on top of that, we have to parse this. What he's saying, I can't even follow what the hell's going on here.
I forgot. Okay, so here's what happened. Well, do you even know the backstory on this? Do you remember?
No, I don't know. See, you have to tell me about this. I don't sit there. I don't follow all this flipping drama that these guys go through.
Okay. So at Avery's debate that we just reviewed, okay, outside of the debate, Jake walks up to Avery and says, "Hey, man, I just want to say, all this stuff that's going down, that's being done by Muslims, I'm not down with that." Okay. All right.
He tells Avery this. We know he said this to Avery.
It's recorded.
Okay.
It's
All right.
recorded.
All right. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we can play that while I can find it later. But he says that he's like, and he's like, there are psychopaths on both sides, or psychopath or crazy, actually says psychopaths on both sides, blah blah blah. But we gotta continue the discourse and stay away from all this stuff, right? Now here's the kicker, dude, and this is what's gonna come up. Okay, at that same debate, either right after that or before that, the speaking Muslim. Did you see the behind the scenes at David Wood's debate? You didn't even see
I
that?
saw no. The only thing that I saw was Avery getting served some type of warrant that
No,
wasn't a real
that was
warrant.
that. No, that was that.
Okay, that's the only.
Before that.
Listen, I'm telling you that I don't follow this behind the scenes drama crap. I don't have time for it.
Okay. Well, this is the juicy stuff, dude. Anyway, so anyway, no, it is, dude. This is anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, but before that, at David Wood's debate, with Jake, you saw that, right? I think we played that where they're talking to Maleek and he's screaming on the TikTok with Jake and that other Muslim whose name's Speaking Muslim. Okay, all right, Speaking Muslim. Where David wears the Quran suit. You remember that? I played that. You don't remember David Wood in the Quran suit?
Yes, yeah, in the onesie. Yes, I remember that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you remember how that come? Okay. So anyway, well, the reason why David Wood put on the Quran suit was because Jake and this other Muslim named Speaking Muslim, they were doing a live and they were doing it kind of like on TikTok kind of deal. And Maleek was on there screaming at them, and David Wood walked up, and Maleek was screaming, "No, come on, David Wood, burn a Quran right in front of him. I dare you to do it. Rip up a Quran, I dare you to do
Okay,
that."
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, how's your wife, Marie? Right? How's your wife? You left her at home with Jay and DOC. How's she doing? You sure she's okay?" And David's just like, yeah, he's smiling. But you can see, like, yeah, keep talking, mofo. Okay. But then David says, "Oh, really? I'll be right back." And now Jake is screaming at him to go go tear up a Quran. And this Muslim guy, this Muslim speaker, and Jake are like, "No, don't do that. Come on, David, don't do that." And this is key. This Muslim speaker character, I think he's a black guy, right? Yeah, he's a black guy. But he was not that. I'm just saying for description wise, okay. But he's screaming, okay, no, I ain't gonna put up with that. That ain't gonna go down. No, I ain't gonna let that happen. He ain't gonna rip no Quran. Well, then that's when David Wood comes down with the Quran suit, and they're all like freaking out over it, right? Like, really, man? Come on, dude. Anyway, 1 week later, Jake says this to Avery, said, "Hey, we got to calm it down. We got to, both sides, blah, blah, blah. It's wrong what they're doing, blah, blah. I'm not with that, right? Okay, so now you're up to speed on this. Well, are you up to speed now? Did I catch up?
I got it. Okay.
Okay. So then Avery, okay, so either before this or after this, that speaking Muslim character that I mentioned that happened last week, you follow now? Speaking Muslim, okay? He's actually a lawyer.
Is he? Okay.
And he's the one who served the subpoena or the paperwork, the subpoena, because he filed the lawsuit in California for harassment and gave an emergency TRO to keep Avery out of the Balboa Park. Okay, so the whole thing was set up.
So okay, how a lawyer cannot issue a TRO?
He went to the judge and got the emergency TRO, and now they're going to have the hearing on it. That's what this is. So he's suing them for harassment. In the meantime, they issued an emergency TRO. Okay, but either way, the lawyer can give the paperwork. Okay, the lawyer sued him. Speaking Muslim is the one who issued the paperwork in the court of law, and then delivered the subpoena in the state of Texas, which I guess he can legally do because he is an officer of the court in California, and it was serving paperwork for California. So that's not the issue. The real issue is this dude is dirty, and lawyers. Because I have a family member who is a lawyer. And he's like, we have a higher standard. We cannot joke around about things. We cannot do stupid things. If we get caught doing one infraction, we lose our bar card. If they get caught committing any kind of fraudulent misdemeanor, they lose their bar card. Okay? They
They
can
get
get
debarred. They get debarred.
they can get a DUI and still go to the bar, but they're going to lose their bar card. You know what I mean? Okay, they are on extreme high standards. This dude is violating those standards. He can and should be disbarred. But let's continue on. Let me play so that I catch you up on what's going on now. So the question,
Gotcha.
J and DOC. Let me read the question from J and DOC. They spent $20 on this. Jake, why did you tell Maleek that you lied to Avery about you supporting the doxing? This is the answer that he's giving. Oh, do you support what Maleek does or not? And secondly, why did David? Okay, not, okay. So he answered the first part about getting arrested. Okay. Anyway, here's what Jake is answering. Why did you tell Maleek that you lied to Avery about supporting doxing? Okay. So
Why did you tell who?
why did you tell? Okay, remember, he goes up to Maleek and he says, I didn't. I'm not with Avery. I'm not with Maleek on this. Blah blah blah. That's not cool. Whatever. Okay. But here's the thing. He later goes on a phone call and in WhatsApp chat, and they bring it up here. They actually bring it up. So just listen. Just listen. Here we go.
And his answer was like, oh, everybody should accept Jesus Christ as their savior and become Christians. And he's like, oh, but that's not really realistic and practical. And then he said, oh, we shouldn't do this. Oh, you got baked and you got buried and you this and that. And then they're like, oh, Jake, well, what do you have to say? And I'm like, well, dude, it's kind of rich coming from a guy who was literally during the debate bringing a wooden spoon and going like this throughout the debate. Like, really? Is this, So yeah, and I'm certainly not perfect as well. So I have to be better in certain areas. But yeah, a lot of things that are private, even if I know about certain people, because in Islam, and I think it's really the same in Christianity, if it's private, you keep it private. If something comes out in public, then it can be addressed in public. So that's the way that I operate. But Maleek, he doesn't operate that way. So
okay, can you stop this for a second?
Yeah. Okay, this is the beauty part. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
How do we know that it was okay?
How do we know what?
From this is what I understand. Maleek is the one that doxed all these people.
Right.
Am I correct on this? Okay.
Right.
What you're saying, it was Jake who gave Maleek all of this information?
Well, according to what people are saying, and according to what I saw of JNDOC's new video that they just went live on, yes, it was Maleek. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it was Jake and that lawyer guy, the speaker, blah blah blah, who did this. But that's not what we're talking about here right now. We're talking about Jake goes up, okay, to Avery. After debate, before the debate, whatever, said, "Hey, I'm not down with what Maleek's doing." Okay. Blah blah blah. We need to do other thing. Is Chris in the room? Chris maybe come up and explain the part about the doxing part, because I haven't seen that yet. But here Jake is specifically talking about, because then Jake, like the next day or a couple days later, that Maleek dude called him out and said, "What do you throw me under the bus for? What do you mean you ain't with me? You was with me." You know what I mean? And Jake responds, "Oh, come on, them I was lying to them fools. Avery's my biatch. Okay, come on, I was just playing them."
He's saying this to who? Who is he saying
He's
this to?
saying this to Maleek in a WhatsApp chat.
Unbelievable.
He's saying to Maleek, but hold on, it gets better. It gets better. Jake's actually reading, or not Jake, but Maleek is actually reading the contents of this WhatsApp chat. Okay, all right, okay. On his live stream, he's like, "This is what I'm done. I'm done now with Jake. Jake's done. I wipe my hands of it." And by the way, I'm gonna release the whole thing, because they had a whole hour conversation, or actually a real long phone conversation that he recorded between Jake and this lawyer dude. Okay, and I guess that's what they're getting at. Evidently, Maleek's building. Here, let me read you. Hold on.
Okay, if anybody in chat wants to come up, I just pinned the link to come up on stage in the chat. Go ahead, read. Go ahead, Brad.
All right, let me find it here. Let me find it.
You
Okay,
mind if I say something real quick while you're
sure,
looking
sure.
for it? I mean, all this stuff is a hot mess. Like what they did to Avery's wife was unacceptable. I mean, you're having a discussion. All of this stuff is a hot mess. Doxing is evil. It's wrong. It's bad. I've always been on the side that this is. I'm a very free speech activist, and I think you can have a difference of opinion. You have no right to go into people's personal lives. You keep it in the debate. Have decorum. And like just during the debate, like when I saw Jake, he was doing chest thumping. He was trying to blame, Avery for theatrics. I'm like, brother, you were doing theatrics too. You were chest thumping as well. And you were like, you're not following. All the mushrikeen don't understand. Some dumb line like that. It's so hard for the
Yeah,
mushrikeen.
then that just wore on me during debate. I know it's hard for the Mushrikeen. I know it's hard. Well, I know
I
it's
mean,
hard for the
is a
followers of
Christian
the
a mushrik?
pedophile. You can. There's so many different ways that you could handle that. But I mean, come on.
Is a Christian a mushrik, or are they Ahl Kitab? What is it? Is it Ahl Kitab? Is it people of the book, or is it mushrik? You tell me. Like, we're trying to figure this out.
I don't know. He's just a child. Okay,
All
so
right, I found it. Let me read it real quick, and then Chris, you can give your input because you got more information than I do. Clearly, okay. But so Maleek posts this on his I don't know, some kind of story thing. I'm still trying to figure out TikTok. I don't see why everybody likes it. I think it sucks, but maybe because I'm a boomer. But anyway, here's what Maleek posts. After going on a mission to figure out why the Dawa scene was so cooked, going from Da'i to Da'i, trying to figure out who's corrupting the ish, I realized the Muslims only have themselves to blame for this. No honor, no integrity, no principles, no standing on business. Club Pyru, that's his little internet gang. Club Pyru was designed as a response against the blasphemers and Muslims who move undercover and think
what is the club part? What is that? What is that?
evidently it's some Discord server that he has, but he calls it Club Pyru. Chris can tell you evidently it's some kind of gang out on I don't know, the Crips, or no, the Bloods. Yeah, the Bloods or something like that, where he pretends that he's associated with. He's not. But anyway, undercover. I think we got our answers. Here's what he says. I'm going to do one more episode next week exposing Jake. Not speaking Muslims, that's a lawyer guy. David Thaddeus, I don't know what they're going to expose him for. B Buddies, I don't know who B Buddies is. Tina, don't know who that is. Ike X, and then I'm done. I'm washing my hands of this whole online community. You guys make Jews look honest. Wow. All the regulars on Comply-Roo, you guys are kind souls. And you get it. Poor guy, he's hurt. No, wait. Club Pyru is his gangster crew, right? It's his blood crew online. They're gonna do all the clipping and whacking. They're gonna do the pow pow, but in his case, it's pew pew. Anyway, but he's calling you're all kind souls. I would never say to any of my old real gangster buddies, "You're a kind soul," because they could, I guess, could be, but no, they weren't. Actually, they were very charitable and very good with kids, but that's beside the point. Okay, okay, you get it. But I cannot keep ripping parts. He's ripping parts of myself to help a community that doesn't want help. He's just trying to help the Dawa scene by doxing, by outing, by snitching on everybody. So let me leave y'all with some hints and good luck.
Well, it sounds to me, and this is just, for somebody that kind of, I don't get involved in all this. I don't pay a lot of attention to it. It just sounds to me like a bunch of grown-ups caught up in a bunch of kids' games.
But these kids' games have serious consequences.
That's what I'm saying. They're talking like a bunch of kids, but these are adults, and these adults are having consequences that are, I mean, well, if you have to move, let's say you have to move.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's a pretty serious consequence. I mean, if David has to move, I mean, you're talking thousands of literally thousands of dollars. You're costing somebody thousands of dollars because you're playing silly ass games.
Right. No, exactly. But anyway, Chris, are you there, dude? Come up and
Yeah.
explain the other part, dude. What's going on with that lawyer guy and
So I'm
Jake
almost see.
Doxxing?
Oh yeah, for sure. We all thought it was Maleek that was doxing because he doxed me, Avery, David, IP, Than. Like he went through a list of people. But it come out this weekend that the speaking Muslim, who is a lawyer in California, and Jake, who actually said that he didn't want to be a part of that, that he condemns that type of action. Jake and speaking Muslim sent Maleek over 109 different pages of document, like pictures and stuff like that, of Christians, where they live, their family, their kids, and everything else.
Where did they get that? Do you know where they got that information?
Well, speaking Muslim says that it was all public information, but I'm doubting some of the information was all public information. And I believe that tonight, because Maleek claims that he's going to do a Club Pyru tonight. I call it Club Snitch.
It is.
But he claims that we all know that there's gangs in the United States. Down in California, the Bloods and the Crips run rampant, of course. There's a specific blood crew that he represents, or that he says that he represents, which is the Treetop Pyru Bloods in California. So he actually claims that he's a part of, like, he's a part of that sect. So that's why he is doing these Club Pyru, which I call Club Snitcheroo, technically. But he's out here, he's releasing all, he's the one that started this whole thing. Like, this goes back to, I think it was November when this all started. Because this started on TikTok. There's like me, God Logic, and the rest of us over on TikTok doing our debating things, right? And then it just come out that like the Warner, you must have heard that the Warner said that
He's the watcher. The watcher.
the Warner said that he would, if he could get into the Illuminati. Now, remember, Eric.
I heard about this, where he said he'd do some type of sodomy or something like that.
Yeah.
Or...
Hey, just one time, so he can get into the Illuminati, though, Eric.
He's down with the Dawa, dude. That's commitment.
That's like taking it for the team. That's pretty tough. I can't think of anything that would cause me to do that. But then again,
my chat is so funny. They said that he was trying to do the sacrificial backdoor strategy.
You know what would be funny, Chris? You know what would be funny, Chris? We don't have to. No, you know what would be funny? Actually, I need to do this. Okay, look up some of the strange rituals and well, there's no Illuminati, but some of the stuff that they say that they'll do and stuff like that, and then get people like that live out in California by him. Like we could get a couple people, like leave just little notes, like little hints, So you want, like not saying you want to join the Illuminati or whatever, like send a card, you've been selected, come to this address, bring this thing, whatever, drop it off. You know what I mean? Like a scavenger hunt kind of thing, and see if he falls for it. And then finally you have been selected for the Illuminati. We have it set up like he goes to an abandoned warehouse and there's one of those, like, I don't know, like dog. The only reason I know this is because of that NFL player guy that got busted for the pit bulls, but they have those where they chain you up and it's like they call it what's that? Yeah, Well, they call it the rape stand. Okay, have that, and then there's a bunch of masked men standing behind him like in robes, and you say what to do, and see if he does it. Like straps himself in to get sodomized. I just think that'd be the funniest thing, dude. And we'd all laugh at him. But I'm sorry, I'm getting dark road. But anyway, Chris. So here's the thing. This is why you bring this up. He's a lawyer. Yeah. Lawyers have access. I know because I have a family member that's a lawyer, and he has access to all kinds of databases. Okay, for his job. Okay, that he can look up anything on anybody. It's automatically paid for because it's through his job. So he could have accessed all those databases through his job. No, they have access to basically, if they're doing skip searches, they have access to like stuff that the FBI has access, prints out. They got to pay for it. Oh, LexisNexis, I think, is one of them. It's called. But no, so he could have abused his legal powers to dox you, and you can sue him for that, and he
Yeah,
can get
I
disbarred.
well, I know how I got doxxed.
Mm-hmm.
I was doxxed originally 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
by Maleek. But what Maleek did is he sent a strike into my YouTube channel
Oh yeah,
on,
right.
on one of the videos I was reviewing, and then when I fought the strike, I had to put my own information in and submit it to YouTube, and YouTube sent him a copy of what I sent in, where he got my phone number, address, he got everything when he did that.
Now, is he obligated by law not to publish that? Or is there, I mean, if you are going to, if I have
Doxing,
to
yeah.
do that, are
Doxing
you,
is a crime in California.
say that again?
Doxing is a crime in California. I look up, but they don't ever prosecute it. They're like, whatever. You know
But
what I mean?
okay, so civilly, in a
Yeah,
civil
that's what I'm
suit,
saying. Yeah, no, you guys, honestly,
has he, hey, Chris, has he admitted to this to you, that he did this to you?
Oh, I've got him, like, he doxed my phone number, even, right? And I have him calling my phone number on recording while he was live and leaving a message on my phone too.
Oh yeah, you should look up into suing him, dude. I mean, I already doxed you, so
Oh,
it can't be any better.
no, what you playing like we haven't looked into this yet, Radical?
Oh, really? I'm just saying. Well,
Come
why
on,
not?
man.
Why haven't you?
Hey, now just sit back and watch this play out, Radical.
Okay, all right.
Sit back and watch this play out, my friend.
Well, good.
I hope so, dude.
Because I mean, you have to push back, because if
Yeah.
you don't push back on this, whether it's criminally or civilly, it just goes on. And
No, this could
you
be
know,
a class
I
action.
know how I know personally how this doxing thing. I mean, when you try to get somebody fired from their flipping job, and it not only goes from personally or criminally, it goes into your professional life. It's
Yeah.
it's
So
sick. It
Chris,
really is.
did Maleek publish this already about I mean, no, how did this information get out? Was this Maleek doing another live stream on this, or
Yeah,
what?
so Speaking Muslim and Maleek joined a live stream 2 nights ago. And they went at it. So I did a Dawat drama live stream today. And I set it up as like it was a boxing match between Speaking and Maleek. And we judged who we thought won the fight, of course, right? So Speaking come in at the start of the round, and he was throwing jabs, right? He was throwing jabs. He was like, "You want me to go after Henny?" Bam, right? Henny was his right hand man, right? He's like, "You wanted me to press Henny because he was on one of my ops stage, who's a blasphemer." Well, we all know that was my stage that he was on. So he wanted Speaking Muslim to attack his best friend just because he was on my stage. Speaking brought that up. He didn't really hit him with too much more. And then Maleek come up and he's like, "Oh yeah, Speaking, you want to talk about giving information out?" And then he went off. He said that he has like tons of Muslims information as well.
Oh, buddy.
There's a guy that they call Aki X. This dude really looks like E.T. So I call him Aki E.T. And anytime I talk to this man, I'm like, "Aki E.T., go home." Like he's just that. And Radical, you were a little wrong, because Speaking isn't the one that filed the case in California and served him the papers.
Really?
The guy that served him the papers at the debate, served Avery, that's Aki X. That's Aki.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to do that, right, Chris? You can't do that.
Well, what happened was the guy down in California, the guy that Avery smacked his phone out of his hand because he was harassing Christina. That guy, that
guy's a flipping midget. Why didn't he just slap him like the little bit? I don't.
I'm saying. Hey, I'm with you, Eric. I had to watch my tongue a few times when I was going through that, because I was going to say some choice words as well.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what he is.
But hey, no, give it to Avery. He just snatched it. He's like, no fuss, no muss. Like, this is mine now. I'll give it back to you. Get off my way.
But anyway, what's this role of this little fella?
So he must have went to the court and must have said that he's afraid for his life or something to receive, and it's not even a temporary restraining order that they handed him. It's
Oh, really?
it's a citation to show up to court to see if a temporary restraining order is
Okay.
necessary or not.
All right.
So that's what that was.
So Avery really doesn't even have to show up to that because he's like
He doesn't have. No, he's not compelled to show up.
He gonna. He gonna. We got the clips. We got everything ready. He gonna show up to court. He gonna let it have it. And
good.
It's happening. He going to every court case that's there. He's lawyered up. He's got one of the best right now. So
I know.
When that comes out in the long run, I'll do a video on that too. But I can't talk too much about that until.
All right. No, that's good. No, because the default thing would be like, you know what, this is nuisance. You know, it's gonna go away. It's gonna get dismissed, or even if I am convicted of anything, it's gonna be deferment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't ever, whatever. But no, I'm like, dude, you guys need to fight this. But good. Oh, this is good news, brother. This is good news. Thank you for sharing. But okay, but then speaking Muslim, so he has nothing to do with the legal case then.
No, nothing to do with the legal case. His main thing in here is he tried to say that he was going to infiltrate the Christians. Well, he made a bad move because guess the person he tried to infiltrate? Me. So this is what started out. He was trying to play me to try to give him information on the so-called Shalom al-Masih group. You'll hear Maleek say that a bunch of times. Well, that's referring to me, God Logic, Life, the Word and I, David Wood, IP,
Danny Davis is in that.
Danny Davis, the whole group, right?
Pro-choice clothing.
Yeah, like it. But the problem is that he thinks that I'm one of the leaders of that group, and I'm not. Like, he doesn't realize that we have a female that we call the boss. It's none of the guys. It's a female that we called. So he definitely went at the wrong person. But I kind of played the speaking Muslim as well, and he didn't know it. Because afterwards, I told him, I'm going to release all of the information that you've given me, because he actually told me that he received a dream and heard a voice, and the voice said that he was Jesus and that he is God. He told me that in a private message. And me being a Christian, I wasn't going to throw it in his face. Muslim, you're lying. Blah, blah. So I was like, you know what, man? Yeah, I don't truly trust you, but I'll pray for you, right? And then we got talking, and at the end of the message that night, I said, I'll pray for you, and God bless you, and I'll pray the Lord Jesus comes into your life, right? So a normal message a Christian would send. So then I told him I was going to put all of the information out there that he's been telling me. But I only posted one clip, just one comment that he said. And I let Maleek do the rest, because that started an internal fight between Speaking and Maleek. And now we have this Dawa drama going wild. But I never imagined in my lifetime that we would find out that a lawyer from California is involved in 109 pieces of information of doxing Christians.
Dude, boom, right there, class action lawsuit. Get him.
What I can't understand is, how long has David and Avery known that Jake Brancatella has been involved in this?
Oh,
because why are you going to engage in this guy in a public debate, which builds him up, his career, give him all that publicity, if he is involved, if he's the one that is involved in doxing you?
Well, we didn't know that he was the one involved in doxing us. That actually just came out 2 days ago, that Jake and Speaking were the ones that sent Maleek the information. Now, we knew that Jake was with Maleek and that they were friends and everything else. But if you think about it, David and Avery debated Jake to piss off Maleek. And it worked.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked. And what happened is Maleek turned on Jake and speaking, and now all this information's coming out, and it's all coming out mainly because of this live too that you're showing right now. Once Jake joined David again, like he lost it because what did he say? He's like he told Maleek in a Telegram message or WhatsApp message that when he told Avery that he wasn't with all the doxing and everything, that he was lying to him. So
Yep.
so after this discussion, this was the next discussion after the Avery debate. So he couldn't back out of it now after he said that he wasn't with Maleek. And right now, Jake is looking off the screen. He's looking at his phone right now because Maleek is blowing it up. Maleek is literally texting him right now while he's on the live. And Maleek actually said while Jay and DOC asked their question, he's like, after they asked that question and he started answering it, he's like, I started letting him have it. And so that's what he's doing is he's reading text from Maleek right now.
Wow. Dude, Jake has got to be the biggest idiot in the world. Why would you go and confide in a known snitcher? He snitched on everyone in your entire crew. He's ratted everybody out.
Let me clarify.
And then you go to him? Hold on. Then you go to him? Then you go to him and say, no, I was really lying to them. You know what I mean? What kind of a moron does this? It's like, dude.
Let me clarify what I said here about helping Jake's career, because I've heard some Muslims come out and say, who's the most popular Muslim debater today? And a lot of people are saying it's Jake, and it's not because of how he did during the debate. That's not what I'm saying. The position I have. This is giving him publicity. The publicity that he is getting from this is what I don't understand. But if this information is just coming out, how do you trust these people? I mean, this is the thing. If these people are so backhanded to each other, evil to each other, how can you, as a Christian, engage people like this?
They don't even trust each other. That's why they record each other.
Yeah,
they don't even trust each other. But actually, to answer your question, Eric, who else is going to debate?
Well, and also, what we wanted to do too, it played out. It's not something that we planned, okay, but it worked out this way anyways. That Jake, you are correct. Anybody that debates David Wood and Avery, I don't care who they are, they're going to boost their career in the Islamic world after debating those two apologists. Those two right now have the biggest following in the Christian community, right? God Logic is over 500,000. And we know that David Wood, it's 500,000 that he's over there. And we know David Wood been doing it for years. So he got tons of them as well, right? So when somebody debates one of those two, or even both of them within a week, for sure their stock is going to rise. But in the topics that they were doing, and this is the reason why they did it, the topic is the Islamic Dilemma. For the last year, we've been pushing forward the Islamic Dilemma argument and whatnot, right? And it come to a point where now Muslims have three different arguments to try to refute it. This is why they're so confused. And what we wanted, because Jake's really good at making Muslims mad at him. Y'all remember the tier list that he did? He ranked all the Muslims on a tier list, and almost every Muslim known to man lost their mind over this tier list. Like he was a kuffar, he's a munafiq.
Who did this tier list? Who did this?
Jake did.
Jake.
Yeah.
Jake did this. Okay.
And now you think it kind of worked out because the Muslim world was hating on him for something fierce, like all the apologists and everything else. And he kept saying that this new debater, Orthodox Muslim, he calls himself, he goes by the name of Libiano. He says that Jake said that the Orthodox Muslim is like his son. Every argument the Orthodox Muslim uses, he gets from Jake. So Jake was portraying himself like this big bad debater. So when the Islamic Dilemma come up, and I think you've all watched the debate, Jake doesn't even know what the Islamic Dilemma is.
That's what we were saying.
He has no idea. So to have him make himself look this stupid, on stages as big as they were. I'm so happy it was with David Wood, and I was extremely happy it was with God Logic, because he was made to look like such an idiot that he had no idea what the Islamic dilemma is, but yet he's claiming to be the father of all these Muslims that are in apologetics today. It worked out.
Jake's claiming this.
Yeah. Yep.
So Jake, yeah. So just to follow what Chris said on when he rated all the Muslim debaters, he pretty much he put Shabir Ali as an F. He says he's kufar. Shabir Ali said he was a kufar.
Jake puts Shabir Ali.
As an F, and basically says he's a kufar. Okay, and then everybody else he gave a C. Literally everybody else except for one person, Farad, right? Was it Farad, Chris? Some dude named Farad?
Yeah, it's the guy that he learns from, really.
Okay. So he gave this Farad dude an A level, but Jake, because he's modest, you see, he's modest, okay. He only gave himself a B minus, right? He was gonna give himself an A rating, but he's modest, so he gave himself a B minus, okay, in the rating system. But everybody below him has a C level or a D level or an F level, okay. But here's the funny thing: after they all criticized him, he redid it. He says, "Okay, I'm giving you an F. I'm giving Muhammad a job. You got an F. Jaz Ahmed, you got an F. You whatever Dabari or whatever cult he belongs to. I don't know if I even liked you. You get an F."
He did. He did a second winner. He ranked them all F. He didn't care.
Yeah, so he gave them all F, and then he gave himself a B plus rating. Okay, because he's humble. You see,
I'm just surprised that he would get. I mean, Shabir Ali. I mean, you talk about one of the most engaging people that actually engage on topic, and doesn't use this insufferable type attitude when he does debate. I think he's probably. I mean, he's probably from the debates that I have seen. He hasn't done one in quite a while. I don't know. Has anybody seen this guy?
He's like pretty much retired now. Yeah,
is he still alive?
He's top tier compared to the rest.
I know Chris. Listen to this. Chris, this is Chris's. Chris never debated anybody. So what do you say? Oh, what the hell? Let me go call up this Shabir Ali guy and see if I can. So the first debate he does is with Shabir Ali. Who does that?
Yes, sir.
I remember
that. Have you heard from him? Do you know? I mean, because he's from up there where you are. I mean,
yeah, I still talk to him in email. We're actually setting up a discussion down in my area this year as well. So he's going to be coming down to my area for another discussion in the summertime. This area, but I'm going to be going up to Toronto. I think it's May 30th. Dr. Tony Costa is going to be debating Shabir Ali on the 30th. And this is...
Of what?
Of May.
30 May? Okay.
So I'm going to drive up and I'm going to watch the debate up there. And I'm going to get my camera and everything. And I'll get Dr. Tony Costa on camera to see how he felt after the debate. And then talk to Shabir, see how he felt after the debate as well. And then see if I can confirm when he's going to come down and have a discussion with me. We're going to, I already talked to him about talking about why is Isa the Messiah. I think that's a pretty important topic.
Sure. That sounds like a good debate to me. Yeah, especially with him. But again, this is the thing with when debating him. He actually presents facts, and when he does debate, he doesn't use just Islamic sources. When he debates, he backs up his position, although I think he misapplies them or misrepresents them at times, which most Muslims do. But at least he engages in on topic and with source material. The rest of these clowns, like watching Jake take on Avery and David on this, it's penance, is having to watch this, to write down the timestamps for the show and play, I don't know. There's only so much you can take of these people, and that's you just get to the point. But hey, I'm here to do a public service for people, and I don't mind doing it. But I'm just letting you know, some
Well,
of us have to
here's the thing,
suffer for the faith.
Amen.
Chris, who else out there other than, I mean, well, we got the new shining face of Dawa. He's got the powerful monkey Dawa, Junior. They're throwing him all under the bus. They're calling him an apostate, a
Have
kafir.
you
They're,
have
they're
you
saying
seen
he's on the shekels. What?
have you seen some of the things that idiot says?
Oh yeah, but
Junior?
no, he's
Yeah, Junior. Junior's he's a complete moron.
he's a lunatic. But no, he's the new face of Dawa. He's still debating him.
Who
But
was
no,
the guy that Isa? Who was the guy that Junior did the debate with you and AP? Who's the
Julian.
other?
His name is Julian.
What's his name?
Julian.
Julian. That's right.
His
Did you
name
see that
is
debate,
Lurch.
Chris? Chris, did you see that debate between Isa, AP, and this Junior and Julian guy?
You know I did.
Okay. Did you see that Julian guy? And
Yeah.
maybe it was just me. Is it just me? But did this guy just look like he walked out of a graveyard?
Yeah, I don't even think he realized where he was half the time, honestly. I'm with you, Eric. I'm with you. He did.
I mean, I'm serious. He looks like he was in one of these movies where you have zombies with the color, the way he looks, the way he holds his face. And I mean, this guy is involved in this. This is the best face that you can put out there. I'm not the prettiest guy. We're not all that prettiest guys in the world, but we don't look like we're dead. I mean, this guy literally looked like he was.
Well, Eric, if you're going to go to a debate where you're going to be on camera, you're probably going to have a shower. You're probably going to do your hair a little bit. You're going to probably make sure you're clean. Like that's probably, those are prerequisites that you would do to be able to get ready for a debate on camera, right?
You would think. I do. Before I come on camera for the show, I'll go back into the bathroom and I'll comb my hair.
Yep.
I'll take a look at my shirt to make sure my shirt isn't,
make sure your goatee's nice.
Yeah. Make sure everything's all just.
I'll put on pants.
He didn't have that.
Well, you don't have to put on pants. I could not be wearing pants right now. I'd be okay. But this guy, I'm just saying, he literally looked like he was dead. And if you are putting these guys out as your debaters, and this is when we start talking about, you're rating these guys A, B, C, D, E, F. You have to have some type of on-screen persona when you're debating. Jake, I think in both of these debates, you talk about an abject failure to read the room. He just does, and maybe that's why he got a B- instead of an A, or giving himself a B-. He just does not have the ability. Junior, when he debated Isa and AP, the problem with Muslims is that they just know so many things that aren't true. And that was the debate with Junior there. But when you look at Jake, same thing. So many things that he knows that simply aren't true. Yes, there you go. Ed's got this
Jake,
right.
But Jake's got lesions on his brains. But no, getting back to this, Chris. But who else is out there? Who is willing to debate? I mean, this is the only people that are offering up. Like, no, David Wood said, I was watching one of the streams, and David's like, yeah, good luck getting any Muslim to debate you. They don't. And it's not just David Wood and his Quran antics. It's other people. I'm sorry. I mean, who are you going to get? You're going to get the Junior, who they all hate now because they think he's on the shekel. Literally, they're saying that he's on the shekel.
But you think the Jews are paying him?
Yeah, no, you got to read the comments, dude. He posted some stupid thing. Don't eat in front of me in Ramadan. Yeah, and
they call him a Mossad agent.
Yeah. He's on the shekel. Anyway, but who else? Chris, who else is out there, dude? I mean, Muhammad Hijab, he's gone. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean?
It's not the old people, though. And I think that David was true when he said this. If you're a Muslim apologist, you have a lifespan. And that lifespan in apologetics is not very long. Maybe up to about 5 to 10 years, and then you're gone. Like back in the days when we were coming up in apologetics, let's say 15 years ago, like Shadid Lewis, Akil Anqua, Ijaz Ahmed.
But he's still there.
With Ijaz, but he doesn't debate. Like the last time he debated
Right.
was with Sam on the Fresh, and like Sam destroyed both. I love Jay Dyer, but Jay Dyer was basically there just to be another person in the debate. Like he hit the philosophical side, but Sam went to town on Ijaz and Daniel. Like he took them both out, right? And now it's the last debate that Ijaz has had in like 7 years. But there's no like Shadid Lewis. He's nowhere to be found anymore. He used to be debating all around the country, right? We used to have people like Akil and like all these older debaters that were in the Islamic world. They're gone. They're all the younger kids now that are coming up trying to debate. Now there's a lot of them coming out of TikTok. So there are a lot of debates still happening in TikTok. Like I'm going to be debating tomorrow morning, I believe it is, on the Islamic Dilemma with a Muslim from TikTok. So there are Muslims on TikTok that are coming out, but there are certain Muslims that we won't talk to either. So we won't talk to them. They're on the blacklist, like Central Dawa, who is debating AP. Like we won't debate him anymore because of him siding with Maleek in this whole thing. So whoever sides with Maleek in this whole thing, they'll be blacklisted at the end of it. Now that we found out Jake is, you're never going to see him debate anybody that is known anymore.
All right, Chris, you got to share.
I think that's important. That's important to do that and hold people accountable for it. Because if you engage these people and continue, and this is why Sam got so pissed off at me, is because of the thing with Kenny Bomer when he doxed me, when he was involved in that doxing with me, and I called him out on it, called Sam out on it, and then Sam, he ended up getting upset. Ed'll tell you, but I'm back on this channel anyway. But people continued to promote him until he made the mistake of telling that black kid that he was going to whip him with his belt. I think that's what finally ruined him. But people have to stick to their guns on this and don't engage this guy regardless of how, because let's say Jake came here. This is enough. I mean, this is the channel. Nobody hardly watches this. I don't have a problem admitting that. If he came to me and said, "Hey, Eric, I want to go ahead and have a debate with you," knowing this, I'd tell him to go jump in a lake. There's, because anytime that you start promoting these people, and this is why I was asking, when did these guys find out that Jake was behind this doxing? Anytime that you start promoting those people and engaging them in public, because all that does is that increases their persona, you have to shut it down. So you're doing the right thing.
Actually, if Jake came on this channel, we would say congratulations, you are now at F Dawa level. I'm just saying. Used to bother.
Yeah, well, we had Maleek popped up here last week.
Yeah, well, Chris, we did twice.
And did you see that? I don't know if you're watching, Chris, but Maleek popped up here twice on last week and the week before, or at least somebody named Maleek. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't.
No, it was him because he was screaming and yelling, but we couldn't hear him, and he cut out.
Well,
oh wait, Chris, you're gonna have to give me a crash course on the TikTok. I can't honestly. It is the most annoying thing. No, it really, I don't get it. I mean, it just, no. Anyway, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so so it's always upmers, it's always new guys, but they're all saying the same arguments, though. This is the thing. I don't know. It kind of gets boring, but all right. Anyway. But yeah, Chris, thanks for sharing.
I wanted to share something about what was going on. I was very sorely disappointed by Jake's performance in both debates. I think that they were horrendous. He didn't offer anything. All he did was chest thumping. And there are a lot of these so-called Dawa warriors, these mujahideen, what they do is when they're very good at destroying other religions, they're very good at, doing takedowns. But when it's actual real apologetics and defenses of their own tradition, they're horrible at it. They do an epic failure. What they do is they give weak arguments, weak sauce arguments, and then they do chest thumping. And they're like, I won, I'm so good. But they offer nothing of substance. What did Jake actually offer during the debate? He offered that he made Islam look horrible. So, I mean, if you're a defender of Islam, you've made Islam look horrible. You made Islam look like an evil barbaric prehistoric religion. That's what he did. He said, look at the jizya. This is such
I just wrote that down. He said, exactly. Why in the Hades, of all the things that you could bring up and argue and slip into your argument to show that there's some type of legal or binding authority of Islam over Christianity, why would you bring up the jizya, the forced payment and forced subjugation of anybody that's not the himitude of people? Why would you do that? That just shows you what a moron this guy is. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please. I love that. I'm glad that you're excited by what's being stated. So the big problem that he had, that I think was just an epic failure for Jake, is bringing up the jizya position actually hurts him in a lot of ways. Because first and foremost, if he's correct that the Quran is here to make everyone become Muslim, then the Quran should not leave place for Jews and Christians to exist. It should push the position to wipe out Jews and Christians completely. There shouldn't be a poll tax at all. There should be just everyone has to become Muslims, not just people who believe in multiple deities. Everyone has to become Muslim. The problem is that doesn't exist, so that defeats his position. It creates, if there's access for people to be Christians and Jews within a Muslim society, then it defeats his position, because what the Quran is pushing, even if you don't believe it's perennialist, it is pushing a semi-inclusive narrative, which is saying, hey, Jews and Christians get to exist. Thus, they have a right to do their practices. If they couldn't, then there would be no jizya. So it actually defeats what he's saying. Its argument isn't even good in of itself. It's self-defeating. So he loses on that position. It's not a very good position, because your job is to make Islam look good. And then a lot of these debaters are like, you need to join Islam at the end. And I'm like, you've done a piss poor representation for Islam, for being a vanguard of Islam. No one wants to be Muslim afterward. I'm sorry. Most of these Dawagandists, you know what they are? They're good missionaries for Christianity, I think. In their debates with Christians, it makes the Christians look good and it makes them look bad. That's what I would say. If I came in, I'm just a neutral, let's say I'm an agnostic, and I come in to watch the debate, I'm like, the Christians won. There's no way that I would say that the Muslims would have won any of these debates. They look terrible. They're like, the guy's like, we're so tough. We're militant barbarians. That makes us good. We're so great because we're violent, terrible.
Well, somebody in the chat mentioned the fact that, look at the material that they have to work with and look what they have to defend. If you had to defend that, you would constantly look bad too. I mean, there's not a lot you can do with it.
I think you would have to take like a kind of an Ismaili Sufi. You have to take an alternative position. There's a way to do it, but you can't combat Christianity. You couldn't come to the field with a narrative like that and fight Christianity. You're not going to win. You could say, oh yeah, we are friends with Christians. If you take that position, you can't fight Christianity. It won't work, because the type of position they're taking is that, our stuff is real, their stuff's corrupted. I'm like, that's not how Islam works. Islam's whole idea is that there's this unbroken chain and lineage from Adam all the way to the Prophet of Islam. That's the argument of Islam. You can't just say, you know what? When it was Moses, it was corrupted. And then with Jesus, it was corrupted. Everybody's corrupted. And I'm like, what they're doing is they're trying to win a battle, but they're epically losing the war. The war is that your position has to be that it's not an isnad to the Prophet of Islam. It's an isnad to Adam. Right? Adam alayhi salam, right? You have to have an isnad to him. You have to have a chain to him. That's what Islam is arguing, that this is a chain of prophetic lineage chain all the way from, since the beginning of time. If you argue that that's not the case, the consequences are so deleterious and so horrible that it's unbelievable. What it does is it nukes any position for Islam. What you're saying is that God is either a deceiver or God is weak. That's a dilemma. You're putting God as either a deceiver or weak. Is that the position you want to take? Just to say, well, these things don't align. These texts don't align. You better do some kind of textual reconciliation. Christians have a textual reconciliation with the Hebrew scriptures. Christians can argue and say, yes, I see multi-personal, like Elo, like I can see the multi-personal element of God within that. Like there's arguments Christians can make, right? If Muslims are just saying, I'm dismissing everything unless the thing agrees, you look terrible. Your theology looks bad. How do you think you can come up on a stage and combat someone who's already able to do this adeptly? So like I see it and I'm like, this is bad, dude. This is
Well,
bad.
their whole, and this, it goes back to the fact that, you know, you look at the example of their prophet, you look at the method of transmission, and all these things that they're trying to push. They're trying to push a Disney type narrative onto an academic issue, and you just can't do it. But this debate just kind of illustrates all of that. When you have a made up story, for example, and people have seen this channel, if they've been on this channel, maybe some people in the chat that are listening now in the chat have not seen the videos that I've done on Mecca, or even go watch other videos on Mecca. It doesn't matter but if you watch the videos that I've done on Mecca, when you start with the premise that of Mecca, and you cannot even prove that Mecca existed in the 7th century, the rest of it just falls apart. Their prophet falls apart, their narrative falls apart, the hadith fall apart, all of that, based on the history itself, it just falls apart. And when you see these debaters go out and debate, they're just thrashing, trying to get something to stick. And this is what we saw with Jake, trying to get this, the authority, the legal authority. And that's not what Avery was talking about in the debate. Wasn't talking about a legal authority. He was just simply talking about the authority itself of the Bible. The authority, if the Bible is inspired by God and it has been preserved, if it's inspired and has been preserved, then it has authority. It doesn't matter if it's legal authority, spiritual authority, theological authority, historical authority, it has authority. And any way that you want to conflate that term authority is going to be a loser, because it does not address the dilemma, and because the dilemma is the 1094 issue. If you doubt what we have revealed to you, go to the people of the scripture. And if that doesn't work, what are you supposed to do? Or let's just pretend it confirmed that. Let's just pretend that it did confirm the scripture. Let's say that Muhammad's revelations did confirm the scripture. Would that mean that the Quran was from God? No. All it means is that he read the Bible and was able to give some type of prophecy, so-called, that's consistent with it. But since it does not follow the Bible, then it's going to be, we know it is therefore wrong. Modus tollens. Modus tollens is that it does follow. Jake was wrong on this. Well, it does not follow. He's full of crap. It does follow.
Do you mind if I add one thing, Brother Eric? There's one important point that I think needs to be here. Jake's argument falls apart on this too. He's saying that the Quran has authority. Okay, what does the Quran have authority over? If you're saying that the Torah, the Zabur, and the Injil don't exist, okay, then what does the Quran have authority over? Corrupted scriptures? Is that the argument you're making?
Yeah.
So the Quran is an authority over corruption? This is terrible. This is awful. And also, you can't prove the Zabur is corrupted at all. They just throw that in. They smuggle that in. I'm like, what's corrupted about the Psalms? Like, content-wise, what's corrupted? What's theologically corrupted? There's nothing. You're just like, well, because the Hebrew scriptures are corrupted and the gospel is corrupted, well, they're just all corrupted. And you'll see that. Like, you see these debates. Avery did a spectacular masterclass job in the debate. It was masterclass. Even the spoon, everything. What
about the cross examination, Isa?
Spectacular.
The first bunch of questions when he was talking about Isa and abolishing the jizya.
Perfect.
He demolished Jake's authority argument in that 3 or 4 minutes in that one question round.
I completely agree.
By reading that hadith, when Jesus comes back, the hadith says when Jesus comes back, he's going to break the cross, he's going to kill the pigs, he's going to abolish the jizya. And Jake saying, he's going to come back and he's going to break the cross, he's going to break the cross, kill the pigs. But he's not abolishing he was toast after that. You can't come back for something like that. It makes you look like an obnoxious ass, and that's exactly what Avery turned him into. Well, it didn't have to turn him in; he was already that. But that's what he made. It was a classic illustration of that.
One thing I wanted to add to that, and both of you are completely right. What he did was it was a perfect trap that he laid out. He was like, it was so amazing. He just came in and he's like, so tell me about what happens when Christ comes back. What actually happens? And he's like, and then, he's like, well, this thing happens. He's going to destroy the cross. He's going to kill the pig. And then he perfectly omitted the part of abolishing the jizya. And because Avery knows this stuff so well, he caught him. And then what Jake did as a response is, this is what you can tell when someone is lost. They get angry, they yell, they beat their chest, and they say nothing. And that's what Jake did. He started beating his chest, and he was like, you didn't get me. The mushrikeen, it's so difficult for the mushrikeen. It's so difficult for the mushrikeen. He just kept doing that mantra. Like, somehow that helps him win. You're not following because you're a dummy. And he kept doing that. And I was like, you're afraid, dude. Anybody who's smart here, anybody who's an adult in the room knows that you have weakness. Your position is weak. I saw Daniel do this too. They crumble. They don't know how to defend this. And because their point is they're literalists, they're stuck in a literalist position. So their point is that they want to attack Christianity. But in order to attack Christianity, they have to attack their own holy scriptures. But to attack their holy scriptures, they have to say, well, there's some phantom texts that exist, and these other texts that are here, they're not real. But this denies science, this denies academia, this denies everything that we know as facts and truth. And then they want to appeal to academics and try to tell us about, Q source, like Dean Responds, he'll tell us something. I'm like, no, you can't, you don't have a right to talk about this. They're all corrupted, remember? Why are you dealing with academia? And also, if you want to use academia, you know that academia does not help the Islamic position. If you use people like Michael Cook and Patricia Crone, these are not people who just love Islam, or take Gabriel Said Reynolds. These people will critique the text too. And then you take Dr. Joshua Little on the Hadith. This is not some fun. It's not an easy thing. You can't try to be critiquing the Bible and then you try to put like an aegis or a shield around Islamic tradition. If you want to use academic scholarship, you got to use all of it. You got to use all of it. You can't be a hypocrite. You can't be. This is so difficult for the munafiqun, the hypocrites, right? Don't be a hypocrite, bro. Go all the way in. If you want to critique the academia, you want to bring academia up critiquing, variants of the Bible, then you got to deal with, the qira'at and the ahruf and the nasikh wa mansukh. You got to deal with all that stuff. You don't get to, do special pleading for your case. It's very bad. And Jake just did a terrible job. So awful.
Okay, so I guess that ends the discussion. Hello, did I just lose everybody? Or
no, we just muted up. We just waiting
oh,
for.
Okay.
Thanks, Imam. Thanks.
No,
I just want to make sure.
No, it's just when we start looking at these. So here's my question then: who is the next one that is going to step up and take the place of Jake? It's going to take the place of all these other supposed popular folks. Who? Do
you want me to tell you who the next two are trying to be?
Sure.
Orthodox Muslim and Dean Responds.
Orthodox Muslim. Now, which one is that?
Libiano.
Now, is Libiano... He's not the guy that made that threat from the car with the cash, is he? Is that...
No, that's Maleek.
Oh, is that Maleek?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that was Maleek. Okay.
Yeah, that's club snitcheroo right there.
Okay. That's okay. Now, Maleek was never a debater. Am I correct on this? He's just a...
he was. Yes. This is how the whole controversy started, Eric. 2 years ago, when we initially got doxxed, me and God Logic, it was because Maleek was a debater. He was an apologist for Islam. He debated God Logic 2 years ago on, I think it was the Islamic Dilemma, honestly. Or is Jesus a Muslim or something like that? I think it was, is Jesus a Muslim? So when they did that debate, after that debate 2 years ago, it went so badly for Maleek that even Muslims started calling him Dr. Shirk. Because his name was Dr. Maleek on TikTok at the time. So even Muslims called him Dr. Shirk, and they all went after him because of how bad Avery destroyed him in that debate. He hasn't debated since. But since then, I think that he was so upset at Avery, it's been just boiling in his body. Like it's just been souped. So that's it. One thing you'll hear him mention Avery's name like 100 times in each one of his Snitch Pyru live streams that he does. And I think it still stems from way back then when they all called him Dr. Shirk and he got kicked out of the apologetics realm by them.
And so it kind of motivated him that hate just kind of festered.
Yeah, I already said it on my YouTube channel. I was like, I blame Avery. I blame Avery. If he didn't destroy that man so bad, man, he wouldn't be so butthurt.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you could have that kind of hatred, especially if somebody is the public humiliation. All right, so you got this Libiano, and who else were you saying?
Dean Response. That's his sidekick.
Dean Response?
Yes. Muhammad Hijab is promoting them. Ali Dawa is promoting them and whatnot as the new upcomers in apologetics. And I'm not going to lie, like Orthodox Muslim, I think he's up almost to 100,000 subscribers now and whatnot. Now, Dean, I was a little upset too because Dean Response has like 25,000 subscribers and I have like 11,000. And I like, how has he got more subscribers than me? But then I looked at his views of his lives.
Right.
And with having 25,000 subscribers, he has maybe like 1,000 views on his video. So I'm like, I'm not sure if they're all legitimate viewers at that point. Like I got 11,000 subscribers, but I get like 3 to 4 to 5,000 views on my. So I'm getting at least 50% of my subscribers watching the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't even getting that. It's like a tenth of it. So I'm not quite sure what's going on over there, but yeah, those are the new two up and coming, I think, in the Muslim world. And I think Junior, I want to promote Junior. As a Christian, I want to promote Junior because that man destroys Islam better than we do.
All right, so let's just put a good word in for Junior. If anybody can accept debate with Junior, the word's out there. I'm still trying to get that other guy that was on here, and I appreciate you be willing to host that debate. But he said that he wants to. He was on the show. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. We agreed to do a debate, and we're going to do it over the crucifixion. And he tried to get it on modern day debate, and I didn't know that was an option. But the guy at Modern Debate, I don't know who the guy is over there at Modern Debate, but he said no.
Well, the thing is
you guys are nobodies. We ain't having that on here. So he's trying to get it on these other channels, and I said, well, why don't we just do it on ours? And he goes, because nobody's going to watch it. And I'm like, okay, there you go. So we get it on yours. People will watch it if it's on your channel.
Yeah, I get anywhere from 200 to 300 live viewers now when I go live. I could also hit up if he doesn't want to do it on mine. Have you asked him to do it on mine yet?
I did, but he wants to do it on TGP and who?
Yeah, he's talking about the Gospel Truth channel. Mark.
Yes, he wants to do it on that, or there was another one that I can't remember.
Stand for Truth.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I know both. I know both of them that own those channels. I know Marlon and Donnie.
Yeah, SFT or TGT. Okay.
Which one? I could get you on both.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, let me, because he says that, I'm reading the email right now. He said that he's asked them, he's reached out to these guys, but
nobody takes Daniel seriously, though. Like, the first thing I'll tell you, Eric, is none of these people take Daniel serious because he's a joke. Like,
why would you say he's a joke?
You're going to find out in the debate.
Okay. Okay.
I'll guarantee you, Eric, 100%, you're gonna be after the debate with him. You're gonna be like, you know what, Chris, you were right. 100%, you were, and you don't.
But he's
even
not a
know
doxer. Is he a dox? He's not a doxer.
No, not at all. No.
And he comes across as a very decent person.
He is.
I mean, when
He is.
conversationally,
He's a very nice guy. He's not going to dox you. But nice guys aren't always smart.
This is true. It's a true statement.
Let me just do this for you, Eric. This guy is worse than debating Nadir Ahmed.
No.
Okay, remember I said that.
Okay, I'll write this. Hold on, let me get a book that Avery has. Let me write this down here. Okay, Nadir. Because I remember that debate with Nadir. Why is Nadir? And somebody would say, was Nadir on Modern Day Debate, or was he?
Yeah, he debated our friend the Word and I.
The Word and I was there. He came on our channel. Word and I came on the channel, and we discussed it.
Yeah, Word and I's a good guy. He's part of the crew.
Word and I defeated him soundly. Nadir did terrible, and he tried to put coronavirus cells on his presentation. It was terrible, and he buried Islam. It was just he did a very bad job.
What was the topic Nadir debated on Modern Day?
Slavery. It was slavery between Christianity and Islam.
You know it's that. Nadir don't really debate anything else, does he?
He debates
we were supposed to debate the crucifixion on my channel, and we talked about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It
can't get any worse than that.
Okay. And remember I said it, though.
All right. I got it written down. I put it right here.
I wanted to. Nadir's still around.
On one of my 3x5 cards.
Wait, hold on. Nadir's still around?
Yes. But if you want, Eric, I can hook you up with either one of them.
Okay.
If you want to do it on SFT, I have Donnie on Facebook. I get me, you, and Donnie into a discussion on Facebook, and I'll just let him know. I'll just let Donnie know. Eric's one of my good friends. I've known him for years. I definitely trust him when he comes to debates. Would you like to host his debate with him and Daniel? Guaranteed he'll say yes.
Okay. Now this is which one is this? You said
SF2.
SF. What does that stand for?
Stand for truth.
Stand for truth. Okay, I had to look that guy up. Isn't he like a younger gentleman?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Because I didn't know. Okay, yeah. Let me. So if you can reach out to him and let him know that I would be very interested in doing that.
No, I agree with you. And man, me and Logic, we were clowning the Word and I for accepting that debate. Because we say that the Word and I just hears everyone out. It don't really matter to the Word and I who you are. He hears everyone out. Me and Logic, we ain't like that though. Like we ain't just gonna sit there and debate Nadir because we know how stupid he is. But we told the Word and I before the debate, we're like, after this debate, man, you ain't never gonna want to debate this guy again. And you know what, Eric? After this debate with Daniel, you're gonna understand why you can't get on Modern Day Debate, why he can't get on SFT, and why he can't get on TGT. You're gonna find out.
All right.
It is. It's a hard app to maneuver around. It took me a little while to understand it as well. Now that I understand it a bit, I can navigate myself on the site a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm on the phone. Me too. I'm old. I got glasses.
Okay, guys, we're gonna have to roll.
Do you mind if I say one more thing before we have to roll? There's something
Sure. But
okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
Normally, I'm gonna tell you, we normally only go 2 hours, but the last couple of weeks we have been We've been going 2.5 hours. Going that one. Anyway, go ahead. I'm
Thank
just
you.
laughing.
No, it's amazing what we're seeing in these debates. They are downhill. Like, you think of Shabir Ali, you think about that kind of where you're going to have a deep conversation, whether you agree or disagree. But we're seeing like debaters now, like somehow chest thumping is winning. Like, that's the answer. It's not facts. It's not using internal logic. And I think what I've been seeing, particularly between Christians and Muslims, Christians are winning all the debates. Like, I was even watching like the conversation like on Avery's channel, and he has these people come on the channel, and they all just repeat the same argument. It's like a robot. They can't even say something new. It's always the same point. They're like, "So, would you follow a religion of corrupted texts?" It's like watching a train wreck, right? And then they're all like, "No, I wouldn't." Do you believe the Torah, the Zabur, and the Injil are corrupted? Yes, but in their original form, they weren't. And it's literally the same words every single time. And then Avery's like, "Well, so you believe that it seems like you believe in a religion of corrupted texts." And they're like, "No, it's not like that." I'm like, "It is like that. He got you."
I give him the analogy. If you're sitting on an airplane and the pilot comes over the PA and he says, "I'm about to take off, but before I do, in the last 4 flights, 3 of them were crash landings." And then I asked the Muslim, "You staying on that plane?"
Oh, that's it. And he brought up the babysitter analogy, and they're all like, like the babysitter does a terrible job 3 times, but the last time they do a good job. It's like, what kind of God are you investing in? If you think that that's God, do you think God just messes up over and over and over again? That's the price you pay. You have to pay a toll. If you want these texts to be corrupted because you want the Quran literally to, be perfect, then you have to pay the toll. The toll is that God falls. That's what you want. You want the ultimate being, the God, the being that you're praying to fall and collapse. Is that the price you want to pay? That you want to throw God under the bus? That to me is so disgusting, gross, and on top of everything else, monumentally stupid. It is a monumentally stupid position, but it's the position that's being taken over and over again. In order to say there's perfect preservation of the Quran and everything else is corrupted, you got to throw God under the bus. Is that what you want? Okay. C'est la vie, as they say in Canada, right? C'est la vie. Such is life. That's what you want? You can have it. But you're taking a dummy position, so.
I'm just going to say God bless y'all, too. Thank you for having me up here, Eric. Love talking with you again.
Great. It was great seeing you, Chris. We appreciate you coming by and saying hello and giving us all that dirt on these guys. What a show! My God. And I'll be sending you a message here just as soon as we get done, and see if we can get something set up with this guy you told me not to deal with. Well, that's what we're getting to.
Hey, I've been known to be the one to bring the tea from the TikTok over to the YouTube with my Dawa drama live stream. So if you ever see me live and you want to hear a little bit of dirt on some Muslims and you see it's a Dawa drama live, oh, best believe that there's going to be some dirt on some Muslims in there.
I didn't realize it was just so dirty. It's just, I don't know. It's like talking about what Muhammad's life. It just makes you feel dirty afterward when we have to go do some wudu or something. Okay. Everybody else that was in chat today, you guys have been busy over here, and I've been trying to keep up and posting as much as what you've been saying in chat on the show, because I love the interactiveness. Issa, Rad, where did Rad go? Did Rad run out on us? No, you said, why don't I see you on the screen? There you are. What does Nunya mean? What is that? What is that for?
It means none of your
business.
But why do you have that on? Never mind.
Because it asks for more information about me. I'm like, no, none yet. None of you.
Because you don't want to get doxxed yourself.
Exactly. I'm not.
You don't want to be called that somebody.
By the way, just to let you know, well, No, I'm not going to share that. We'll go off the screen for that, and I'll share that if you want to stick around. But go ahead. Kill the stream. Well, don't forget the cold close.
The cold close. I gotta. Where are we? All right. So that would be over layers, or here it is. I got it. All right. I'm gonna hit it.
Right.
Do we have to play any music? When we start doing
no music. I want to get rid of some.
I love that, man. That is just some of the coolest. That is just cool.
Yeah.
That was worth the subscription itself. That music right there.
Go with the cold close. Yeah.
Okay. God bless everybody. We'll see you next week. Are we doing this show next? We are doing the show next week. We'll see you next week on the Crossing the Crescent discussion group. God bless everybody.
Advanced student and specialist, that the standard narrative has holes. That's what
that the Muslims were rioting against one another. And as much as we don't want to face the fact, the Muslims were lying sometimes. They were fabricating, they were embellishing, and that might be hard to accept, but that is a reality.